Hello, I feel like shit. How are you?
Hey, I feel better than shit. I'm a little sleepy and the dog keeps throwing his toys at me. But aside from that, it's pretty good. Hey, Wooly, let me ask you a question. If you die tragically, can I take a $50 3D model of your head and scam people for millions of dollars with it?
Only if you steal that $50 model from the original person who made it. If the person who gives you the $50 model stole it from the original person who made it, then maybe we
Okay.
can talk about it.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're not going to have a very productive discussion because you're dead in this hypothetical.
This is true. But if the first comment under the 3D model of my head is the original artist saying that this asset was stolen and the person who commissioned it never paid for it, then you can go a little bit further down the rabbit hole.
I didn't know about that part.
Yep. Well, hey, there you go.
That's extra. Ooh.
That's what I call a society.
Can I? Wooly, you're playing It Takes Two.
We're done now, actually, but yeah.
How was it? Good, I assume.
Yeah, it was good.
So that means Yosef is 3 for 3.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Fuck the Oscars for real.
Well, there's that.
They're trash. Let's get rid of that, please.
The though it is the fact that Respawn got recognized for one of their documentaries was pretty cool.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah, indeed. That's a game that's a little bit weird too, because they have reference to that moment. They lean in, Yosef leans in hard on everything that people who played his previous games would enjoy in terms of fan service. There's references to Brothers and to A Way Out, and it's good. It's good shit. But yeah. That's some wild internet last night. Anyway.
Did you know a Pinocchio movie came out?
Came out? Released?
Yeah, it was nominated for 2 Oscars last night.
No, I did not.
Yeah.
I was
fucking sham.
I wasn't paying attention to that shit because I was too busy watching the real cinematic masterpieces.
What's
Mortal
that?
Kombat.
I didn't see that. I should have watched that.
Ah, that's a shame.
Don't worry, though. I don't care about spoilers for the fucking Mortal Kombat movie.
Okay. Well, I can talk around it anyways, just in case the viewers care. So I won't be, going all in on specifics. Not
Mortal Kombat as isekai.
Not that it should matter for the stakes. So I went in, and lowered my expectations to the floor, and then stomped a bit to get it, under the baseboards.
See, before you continue, you did that. Is that because you saw or did not see the Scorpion clip they put out?
I didn't see the Scorpion clip. I saw
that that thing, and it looked really good. Actually, he murders those people. He stabbed.
So I didn't see that. All I watched was the initial trailer, and found out they're doing another one. Okay, sure. And then they're gonna reference some of the techno and stuff from the originals, and they're probably gonna dodge Armageddon with a long ass sidestep, and then that'll be that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I went in going all right, turn your fucking brain off, idiot. Don't even think about potentially having a brain for a half second. And I did. And here's what I can say. There's some cool ideas, but there's a lot of problems. And for me, the biggest one is the fact that if you turn your brain off, the reason why you're showing up is for the choreography and the choreography sucks dick.
Oh no.
It's terrible.
No.
You would hope that at bare minimum, the punchy kickies and occasional super moves would be cool. And sometimes they do some stuff that's like fun, but on the overall, the choreography's not great. And that's what bothered me the most, I would say. And like, here's the thing. There are like some cool moments for sure. All of which you can find in the trailer.
Oh.
And like, you gotta be real. Like when the cool part from the trailer wasn't happening, there was a lot of like slow, not quite crisp spin moves and useless cannon drills and just not quite snappy combat, you know? And I was like, oh man, I feel as if every short film by a stunt team to make a fighting game like thing for Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat has done a better job, you know? It kind of sucks that like, yeah, like I guess, I don't know whether it was a matter of the fight director or the talent themselves, but there was a lot of really like underwhelming hand-to-hand combat, you know? And so that kind of bums.
I just want to see a bunch of kung fu wizards fight for like 1 hour and have a paper thin plot with some
no good reasons. Exactly, right? And then have all the things that make that cousin you have that never ever looked back at any of these things that went, oh my god, I remember Mortal Kombat, have the moments to make them go, whoa, he said get over here, you know? Like, have all of that. Like, yes, totally do the thing, and then 20 years from now when like that never happened, just grab the even older cousin who never looked at this either and then sees the other version and goes, wow, you know? But yeah, like that's and the thing is that there's some like things below the choreography where it's like, okay, here's an example. Like, there's a lot of like nothing going on for most of the cast, but but then there's characters like Kano who pretty much are the entire movie, because Kano makes up
love on Kano all weekend.
Kano's charisma makes up for the lack of charisma from everyone else around him, essentially. And it ends up being, he ends up saying the most interesting things in the scenes he's in. He ends up doing the most interesting things, like, because he has an antagonistic personality that shines to, you know, his moments on the on the stage, but everyone else around him is just reacting to Kano, you know. So there's that. But then there's some like in the bad fights though, but there's some cool moves that they do sometimes, you know. There's a couple of cool kicks and a couple of funny like little reference to the game there, like you know, there's a little gag with like it's a small moment, but it's essentially like the equivalent of someone just like spamming a button.
Scrub quotes, split it up, the sweep scene.
Yeah, exactly, right? So it's just a little moment that's like, look at that. That's a funny little thing they did. You know. And then yeah, you have that intro, there is that intro where they show you the past with you know, Hanzo and Bihan and everything. The rest of the movie is not like that. It definitely feels like that intro scene plays out a bit differently. But even in that intro scene, like it's like it was pretty cool. Although like I assume how far does that intro scene go? The one they put out.
It ends when Hanzo goes up to Bihan and they do their little pose and then they go check out the rest of the movie.
Okay, right. Yeah, so, you know, and there's definitely more than a couple moments of just like how do I guess I'll just say that like Sub-Zero he's made to be a very intimidating and strong character, and he is. And he moves throughout the movie as on a power level way above everyone and everything else, you know, but he also suffers from Akuma syndrome, in that like there's a lot of moments where it's like, hey, like you could have really just went for the kill there, but you didn't do it, you know, or like you could have made that much more decisive, but you didn't. You know, there's a couple of like moments where you're like, oh, fatality, and it's like not quite, didn't go for the fatality there. You know, I'm like, okay.
I feel like, let me ask you a
Plot
question.
reasons, I suppose.
Let me ask you a question, and it's a spoiler, I guess, but I mean it's the Mortal Kombat movie, and it's the question I'm asking is going to be dead on for the rest of the series. Ed Boon has made it his life's mission to make sure that Sub-Zero is literally banned from getting wins over Scorpion.
Yeah,
I have read a bunch of comics, and I have played through every Mortal Kombat, and Sub-Zero is just literally not allowed to get a single one, not even a round on Scorpion. Does that shit continue in this movie?
I mean, not quite. But
progress.
But at the same time, if you think this is a Ken and Ryu situation, like you're sorely mistaken. Sub-Zero is definitely, like, not just in this, but in the Mortal Kombat universe, he's nowhere near as much of a favorite as Scorpion is. You know? Like,
I remember
he's just the other ninja that was around from way back in the day, and he gets a lot of cool shit, but Scorpion is the fucking logo of the company.
Yeah, I remember back in fucking MK2 days, like EGM writing out that like arcade operators were talking about that like 50% of all players were picking Sub-Zero. Like, I was always under the impression that Ed Boon loves Scorpion the most, but, like, Sub-Zero was always the more popular one.
I feel maybe it was that way at a point, but I feel as if Ed Boon's push has worked, and over time, everyone that I know, there was I know a lot of people, actually, like, I know about, like, 3 people that are massive Mortal Kombat fans, while still being like casual in terms of gameplay, you know, like not super, like they really like the world and the fatalities, and they don't really play the you know, the game that much per se, and for them they're all huge Scorpion fans, you know. So I feel as if between that and like the way people talk about it on social media and stuff, I feel as if Scorpion has taken the popularity lead. I don't know. I'd like to see a poll to get a definitive.
Yeah, I'm making one right now. It's not scientific.
No, but that's also your followers, and I mean I want to know
why it's not scientific.
Yeah, if the usage stats would be helpful for like any of the recent games, certainly.
I just want to see if it's like 90-10, right?
Yeah.
Like, if it's anything approaching like 60-40, you go, yeah, okay, whatever.
But let's say you're choosing between Ken and Ryu, though, right? Like, you're still gonna have
Ken's more popular.
But no matter what, like the public choices are, like the story's still gonna have, like, you know, they're meant to be rivals. They're gonna have their tough fights, and then Ryu kind of is walking down his warrior's path, and he's gonna edge it out for the plot. And yeah, like the fact that there's more than one Sub-Zero, and you know, the fact that like a Scorpion is like the focal point of the past and the future. I think it's like it's always going to have him with the plot armor and the plot, you know, wins going when it comes down to it.
I have an interesting addendum to this. I was looking up for polls, and I found a Nintendo poll prior to the release of MK11 that had like 50,000 votes in it ish, right? With it being 51.6% to 48.4% in favor of Scorpion, which is hilariously enough the same ratio that my own Twitter poll has right now, which is 52 to 48.
Interesting. So, someone just mentioned Jin has never beaten Ragna. I've told you earlier about how Kai demolishes Soul, and it's like when it comes to these like marquee matchups, when the poster boys are doing it, like how many times does the main character eat shit compared to the rival?
I mean, the number one that I can think of is Ken. Ken is like so much more popular than Ryu.
Oh, I was gonna go with Gary because Gary crushes Ash every single time.
Gary crushes Ash's mom every day.
So, like, that's not like you can't even call it unless
that's why Ash has no father, because he lives next door.
Unless later seasons like even out the score, I feel as if that is the most one-sided trouncing over the course of years. Vegeta doesn't really get that edge out, right? Like,
I love Vegeta so much.
He always wants to, but he can never quite get that fair win. So yeah, I don't know.
One.
I can't speak for Super.
Yeah, me either.
But yeah, in any case, Mortal Kombat.
The whole conversation's a bummer. I was excited to watch it.
There's still some stuff. Here's the thing. It's still worth watching as a fan of the franchise to see the fun things they do. Right? This is I'm going to say that. As a collection of little, fan service moments, and there are going to be fatalities in there. There is going to be some, like oh shit moments and whatnot, but like for the most part, even with your brain off, like you're still gonna just be like, oh man,
how's Reptile?
Yeah, Reptile's there. Actually something unlocked in my brain when they first say his name. They call him like they call him out as like the reptilian, and then his name. And I'm remembering that my cousin, who I think first told me about the secret ninja in the game as the third one, called him the reptilian. And then I just remembered that early rumors in at least my area were about a character called the Reptilian, not the Reptile. I don't know if that happened anywhere else, but like specifically that's what I was introduced to the character as before later on seeing the correct thing.
That's weird, man.
I don't know. Did anyone did he God, it's been so long, but did he not have his name displayed
in
initially?
The original?
Yeah.
It was Reptile.
So yeah, I don't know what it was then. It was like kind of like that Peekaboo energy, exactly, where the name was just wrong from the get-go, and it could just be the fact that like maybe my cousin was peeking over some shoulders at the arcade and saw the thing and then came home and said it wrong, Well,
there's always the possibility that your cousin is a liar, and this isn't a personal slight against your cousin. It's more along the lines of people that told me a thing. Cousins are the biggest liars, ranked only below uncles.
Mayhaps. In this case, I'm going to chalk it up to misremembering, because he's also the guy that says Madouken and all you can to
your cousin.
But
we were cousin's an asshole.
We were kids. What the fuck how are you supposed to know what it was? Like that was just what it was. Like you say the sound you hear. And like we had all that like kind of initial miss shit until I when I became a huge dork.
Written on the side of the cab.
I don't think move translation names were I don't think they were on the initial cab as that. I think there was like Fireball and like Dragon Punch and things like that until eventually they came along later. I don't think that was the case. Either way,
I will find this.
Okay, but here's the thing though. Like, if they were, I promise you, he wasn't reading that. He was just saying the thing that he heard them say. You know, and then like you hear like and then you later on you find out it's Tatsumaki Senpu Kyaku, but you got to become a huge fucking dork to find that out.
Totally written on the side of the cab.
Yeah, he would. That's I'm saying that he's saying what the noises are coming out of the machine as, you know. Look, I don't know. Like, he's not gonna just. Anyway, you're describing a different person. That's not what I'm describing here. You're trying to set something up that's
I'll
not.
Fight your cousin.
Yeah, that's fine.
I will go back in time and fight the version of your cousin that told you that shit.
And then my other cousin came home, and he was the one that told us about the new challengers. You know, and he was like, they put a Jamaican in Street Fighter, and I was like, what?
And he was a liar too. But he didn't know it because man, DJ is fucking weird.
Yeah, he's still Jamaican, and they go to like Cuba, Jamaica in pixel form, but you know. Anyway,
you can fight my cousins. It's fine.
Anyway, just there's a difference between being a malicious liar and just being a dumb kid, is all. But when it comes to what was I saying?
When it comes to fighting.
When it comes to the dumb Mortal Kombat movie stuff, new character is there, and like I don't hate his existence. Cole could be inserted into the game canon if they wanted to, but he doesn't do enough or say enough interesting things to be more than just a really bland poster boy. You know,
he just straight up replace Johnny Cage?
I don't. Let
me ask you this: is Johnny Cage in the movie?
No.
All right, I have a good idea. We take Cole and Johnny Cage, and we combine them into a new character called Johnny Cage.
Yeah, go watch the movie. But like the he's not a Johnny Cage replacement. He's just a tofu milquetoast. Just nothing to, you know, put on him except for his like chosen oneness. And like like again, it's the type of character that could be inserted into the games, but Takeda does a better job at being that character.
I saw like a quote from somebody who was like, well, we put Cole in the movie because, you know, that gives the audience like an in to the Mortal Kombat universe. I'm like, the Mortal Kombat universe is so stupid. Nobody needs an in on it. It's Earthrealm to Kung Fu, the magic done, ninjas. That guy's got ice.
And again, like the people who are gonna like go sit there and be like, "Wow, I don't know who all these people are that they added over the years." It's like, yeah, they didn't go that hard in the paint with the references and the deep pull characters. They really kind of just, you know, they kept it to mostly recognizables from 1 and 2.
Like, the Mortal Kombat cast are a bunch of fucking video game ass fighting game characters. They have no depth, and that's great. They shouldn't. Like, Scorpion's a skeleton who's kind of half on fire with a spear, and he's mad at the Iceman.
Yeah. They did definitely bring in some characters that were from later on, and when you see them and you go, why would you pull from 4 or Armageddon, for example?
I saw that Nitara is in the movie.
And it's like, yeah, so the answer to the question is evident when it's like, we have a list of fucking characters walking up here. Here's Cabal. Here's Melina. Here's fucking, you know, just a Shang Tsung and a whole lot of recognizables. And then it's Nitara. And it's like, right, okay, so you exist for a fatality. This is why you are here. You have been summoned to be meat. You know?
And they got a lot of losers to meet up.
Yeah. That's the thing, is everyone who they need to just have be a disposable fatality meet can just be a reference from one of the future things, you know?
Hey, Wolf, I got a question for you as a fighting game aficionado and expert. Particularly, I would call you a roster expert, right? Does Mortal Kombat have like the biggest like gulf and bad ratio between winners and losers?
Yes.
Like MK has
unquestionably
some fucking winners. Like Scorpion and Sub-Zero and Shao Kahn and Raiden are like, and Noob Saibot, they're fucking great. But they have like dozens and dozens of the worst characters.
Here's
ever
how
made.
extreme it is, right? The fact that we all collectively went, ooh, Kenshi, that's a cool one. And they went, really? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, okay, we'll keep him. And threw everyone else out. Everything else could go. But they're like, oh, yeah, Kenchi's cool. Keep Kenchi. And we all like, yeah, okay, put him in the lore. Work him in there. All right. And they just tossed the fucking rest collectively.
I'm trying to grab a fucking list, okay, of the cast, because I think Deadly Alliance is like the worst one in terms of like new roster, because we had Bo Raicho sucks, Draman sucks, Frost sucks, Su Hao super sucks, Kenshi rules, Li Mei sucks and got turned into a different character later, Lovato is the shittier Cabal, Mocap sucks, Moloch sucks, Natara sucks, and Onaga is just a shittier reptile.
But Armageddon brings out not just losers, but I don't even remember what you look like. Deadly Alliance, you go, oh my god, Su Hao, Borai Cho, what the fuck are these characters? What are they like, right? But and they're losers. But in Armageddon, you get the forgettables. Right? Like that one who's like just a generic MK girl, and I don't even remember her name.
You're thinking of Li Mei. That's from Deadly Alliance.
Is it? Is that the one?
Yeah, you're thinking of Li Mei. I'll grab a photo. Because she started off as a character, and then she got like mind controlled by a different character. Here. Just look at this Google search.
Because that's the thing, is like,
she's just like Melina with nothing going on.
Yeah, okay, yeah, she's got the nothing. But then there was Tanya, who was also like 4, you know, like it got like 4 onward, you started getting the losers in. Reiko existing, like that's the thing, is like Reiko is like, who the fuck is this loser? But Reiko is
Shao Kahn?
Reiko is intended to be a loser that thinks he's kind of like Shao Kahn, but he's not type of guy, right? So like in that role, as the like fake shitty Shao Kahn, he can be that. There's room for that. But like MK Armageddon, I mean,
I don't know how to even describe this in terms of like creating characters, but like, do you remember people being like, when like Ermac and Rain showed up, people being like, just another different colored ninja. It's like the same guy, right? Like they're clones and they're the same sprite. And like, but like as we've gone on over time, the ninja and ninja girl palette swaps alone make up a whole fighting game cast by themselves. And ended up in the long term being like the most successful batch of the whole roster. Like if they had just made just ninjas and ninja women, the roster would have had a way better success rate.
They saved Scarlet, you know, going forward. Like there are the picks among that list, but
New Ermac's great.
But they also, but they could have had their own fighting EX layer of losers, of people that were just alongside the recognizable cast, pushed off in their own direction. 1,000,000%. It's kind of wild how many stabs they took at it and then like just didn't nail it. But coming back around though, like I said, you had the new generation, and like we all kind of went like, yeah, look, that's a couple of badasses. Like whatchamacallit,
Takeda always stood
the combat kids, right, are cool. Ferrator and Devada and not Devada, what am I saying?
Ferrator was so good she got to never come
Aaron
back
Black
again.
Yeah, Kodal, etc. Like the MKX new cast were like, oh shit, these are pretty solid new additions. Devora, excuse me.
Fuck. I'm looking at this fucking roster for Armageddon, and there are characters I don't know on this list.
That's my point.
I don't know legit who Serena is.
Like that's what I'm trying to say is that like Su Hao is a loser, but
Who is that?
Isn't she the princess of
Quan Chi servant, playable, made her debut in Mortal Kombat mythology.
Yeah, like literally whatever. Who cares? Like, but this is my point. Like Armageddon, it's not even about losers. They bring in completely forgettable nobodies. You know? So anyway, Takeda is basically a better functioning version of Cole. And beyond that, like there's some expected extreme jobbing that takes place. Yeah. But whatever, go see it for the gags and the fan service, and just go like, oh yeah, there's the thing, and then that's it.
How's the brutal murder?
Yeah, there's some good ones.
Okay, good, because man, I want some fucking R-rated shit.
Mm-hmm. But also, like, they're good ones, but a lot of the time they're good ones because they're references to existing fatalities.
Yeah, they've kind of gotten themselves in a place where it's like there have been so many goddamn fatalities.
Yeah, the best ones, the best wipeouts are indeed the ones that are referencing existing fatalities you've already seen as indirectly, not quite. But anyway, don't worry about the specifics. The reason why I'm saying go see it because I know that you are a fan of Mortal Kombat and you'll have things to enjoy there. And if you are, that's it. If you're not, / if you actively are like, I know what MK is, but I don't care, then fucking don't bother. Don't bother. Really don't waste your time. But if you do know and care about Mortal Kombat, like you'll see some things in there that you'll be like, oh yeah, okay, And that's kind of where it lands. And it's better than Armageddon. I'll give it.
Wait, hold on. When you say Armageddon, do you mean Mortal Kombat Armageddon, the crossover game, or do you mean Mortal
Jesus
Kombat
Christ?
Annihilation?
Yeah. Excuse me, Annihilation rather.
Because I've been talking when you say Armageddon, I've been talking about like the game the whole time.
The game, no. The last 10 minutes of talk about characters was all game. But when I said it just now and at the beginning in reference to movies, I meant Annihilation. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Annihilation has its charms.
I fucking just can't. Like I think to me, original MK has its charms, right. Original MK has its dumb, fun charms. Annihilation, I can't.
Is like punching the CG monster.
No.
And just decides to pull the robot parts of his arms off, and his regular arms are just touching me. It's so bad.
The money they wasted getting like Shiva in costume and made up and like fully, ready to shoot, to have her fucking pose and run into a cage. Why even bother? Like, are you just going for the fan? Oh, yeah, yes, actually, we were. We had no other reason but to have people go, wow, it's the thing. I clapped when I saw it, and then I got sad when she got crushed by the cage.
Oh,
anyway, don't.
Doesn't like Rain just like get kicked into a pit in like a
I don't.
second?
So yeah,
Right.
you know, it doesn't surpass the majesty of perfect campiness and fun that is MK original.
That original's still great, and I don't care what Jay Bauman says. I'm not pretending to like it, Jay. That movie's great.
And I would also even go as far as to say that the MK TV show comes underneath that as being better than what we have here, you know. And then you have a number of.
Or do you mean like the?
Oh no, there was that. What was it? Was it called? Was it not Legacy? What was it called? God, it was so long ago.
Oh, the internet one.
No, the one with Relic Hunter in it.
Tia Carrera?
I think Tia Carrera was in it. Conquest? I might be thinking of Conquest.
I don't know if I ever saw that.
Yeah, I want to say Conquest. Yeah, there's some like there's some absolute fucking just gems of low budget storytelling in that, because the whole story, like, they had like 3 sets to use for every episode. There was like the outworld with the flashing purple lights and smoke, and then there was a dusty field, and then there was like, I think a temple, or the interior of a temple, and they only had those 3 locations, and that was fucking it.
Never seen this. Oh man, I should watch this crap.
Yeah, it was on Space Channel.
Oh, Quan Chi's in it.
Yeah. So MK Conquest can get it. But yeah, no, this movie comes in above that stuff now.
By the way,
above Annihilation.
I don't know if you follow this Twitter account before we get off this topic, but I gotta let you know that you should follow @DailyMK4, because it's the daily pictures of Quan Chi from the MK4 arcade cabinet.
Nice, yeah, okay.
It is every single day this dude finds a new shot of that horrible photo of Quan Chi, like in various situations and locations, and in the backgrounds of shots. I love that Twitter.
I didn't know, but I found out like right after too. Apparently that last year there was an animated movie that came out. I think it was like Scorpion's Revenge, I think it was called. And there was a trailer for that. Then I was like, oh, that looks like a pretty interesting. Like, that seems like pretty cool, you know. I don't know if it was any good or not, but it seemed all right. It seemed like it was doing.
I seem like I'm falling apart over this. It's just like, you're naming it, like, it's called Scorpion's Revenge, and it's like the guy's been getting successful revenge against the same dude for 30 years. Like,
yeah.
It's just, like I said earlier, like, that doesn't need to have any depth. Like, it's just literally the same story, like, 100 times.
I mean, again, it's if you've, you know, if you're thinking about Mortal Kombat from like the absolute outside audience point of view, it's like that's the only thing that you kind of are thinking about, that, you know, is gonna be like, yeah, like, he's got to fight Sub-Zero, of course, that's what these guys do. I don't know if he ever actually gets it. I don't stick around long enough to find out, but fuck it, you know. But that's also why I legitimately, like, I super dug that fucking T scene from X. You know, like, that was a really cool take on things. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
my favorite moment in that whole saga was like, don't kill Sub-Zero in MK9. Like, just don't, Scorpion, don't kill Sub-Zero. You can kill him later, just don't kill him in this fight. And then he loses his shit and kills him, and he comes back and pulls his head up, and he's like, he looks down at the floor, and he's like embarrassed. He's like a scolded dog. Yeah. And he's like, I couldn't help it. I gotta kill him.
In extreme gore fashion too, mind you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's the first thing there. Actually, I really got to use the bathroom suddenly.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, be right back.
I'll have plenty of time to think about my thoughts on the Winter Soldier Falcon thing.
Did you finish it?
Yeah.
Is it done?
It's done.
Okay, all right. BRB. Okay, so I was actually about to jump over to something else I did this week, though.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
So, Mortal Kombat movie, and then I played a game called Phantom Brigade. Now,
I heard that name.
this is not the first time I've brought it up.
This
It was
is the time shenanigans robot game.
Exactly. It's from the people that it's from Brace Yourself Games, rather. It's from Crypt of the Necrodancer, Cadence of Hyrule. And it is currently not out, but it is in early access on Epic Game Store.
Okay.
So, in a similar situation to Hades, I assume that like I'm gonna put some time in on this, and then at some point it's gonna come out on Steam, and it's gonna hit, and
everyone's gonna be like, "Wow, it's out!"
And I'll be like, "Yeah!" Like I've been trying to push it. Yes, exactly. The early access is currently out, and they're currently going through like iterations and changing things and taking bugs and rebalancing. But what this is a mecha game where you are playing turn-based, but on your turns you have a timeline, and it's free control over the next 5 seconds of what you want to do, where you want to go, where you want to shoot, and it's awesome. Super cool and stylish. I love it. It reminds me of like almost if you were to take segments of combat in like FF7 Remake, for example. Imagine if you were to split it up into like 5-second chunks, of queuing up your actions and then playing them out in a way, and then the whole thing slows down, and then you pick your next set of movements. The game was the one that I talked about when I went to PAX, I believe, like maybe a year or two ago, the last time I went, and was discussing like my potential game of the show because of how fucking cool this whole timeline ability was. I love this idea of like just looking at again like what your enemies are about to do, planning around it, but in this case it is completely free form, no grid or whatever, and you control like their like attacks and defense and movement abilities and like dashing and things like that on what looks like a editor timeline. Like if you're editing video, you have different.
This has coolest interface for this kind of thing I have ever seen.
Oh yeah, so you click on your unit, and underneath them you see a 5-second timeline with the first row is like, you know, like your left hand action, and then there'll be like, let's say your right hand action on like or like your guns, your actions or whatever. Underneath that will be your movement, and occasionally there will be things that block off both. So doing a like a melee attack or a boost uses both your physical and uses both your movement and your attack at the same time. So both blocks of the timeline are taken up.
So I'm watching a video right now. It's from Ko's channel, and I think it's like a perfect example of like just how this timeline works, and it's fucking incredible. Like he's got one of his mechs running away and like a little tank following it, and as he's choosing where to put the second mech and like moving it around the, you know, choosing the movement location, it shows where the other two will be at that location.
Exactly.
And then chooses where to shoot to intersect the tank.
Exactly.
At what time. It is so cool.
You are not shooting where the enemy is, you're shooting where it will be based on your ability to predict the next 5 seconds. And you can use that to do all kinds of fucking super sick plays. One of my favorites, like for example, being the timeline shows you that like this enemy mech is going to circle around you and shoot you in the back, which is more vulnerable, right? That's no good. So what I do is I have one of my mechs like trained his gun on him to shoot where he's gonna be. But then I have a second one that tackles and pushes the enemy off of his projected timeline. So even though it predicts he's going to curve around me, he ends up getting hit off base of that and ends up somewhere else completely. He ends up like on the ground by this overpass, you know, because it's also in a super urban environment. Where you're like, or like a suburban rather. So there's like houses and streets and, you know, like normal looking like places where people live in addition to like big buildings and cover. And like, yeah, he ends up knocking him over there, to which my original unit is now training his gun on that location where he ended up instead and taking the shots, you know? Like really, really cool sense of cover as well. That's a major part of the game. So the mechs are about I would say maybe 3 stories high. They stand high. They stand head above a basic house.
They look to be 17 feet tall.
Okay.
They look like mobile suits. But with Vonzer components.
So it's not like footstep crushes your home type of, you know, giant sized. They've got that nice mid frame, you know, size to them. And yeah, lot of fun with the ability to move the camera through the environment fully and highlight everything and just anticipate the battlefield. And again, this is one of those situations where unfortunately it's not in the game yet, but the ability to watch the whole fight play out after the fact in real time would be fucking glorious, you know?
That was literally going to be my question as to whether or not that's in the game yet.
Not yet, at the very least. I don't know if it's coming, but it's not in the game right now, because it
like,
is still...
I want like YouTube videos of like, here's how to S rank this mission, and it's just the play.
Yeah,
like in real time.
I mean, again, this was years ago, so it's understandably like a forgotten moment. But I came back screaming about how cool this game was. It was my favorite.
You did. I remember.
It was my favorite thing I saw. And I couldn't wait to play more. And now you can, even though it's early. And I'm still fucking in love with how rad this is. The fact that like a big part of the game too is not just like, you know, the perfect timeline and planning, but you overheat when you do too much, when you shoot too much, when you act too much. So you have to balance your overheat moments on the timeline by like, you can place a couple of like rounds of like, let's say shotgun fire, and then you'll be like, oh, like if I use these shots right here on my timeline, I'm still cooling down from my last action. That boost like shot me up into like 50% heat. So now I need to drag the shoot like layer forward until I'm like, and there we go. Now I'm perfectly cooled down so that I can operate at an efficient level of like the shot brings me right up to 99% without overheating. And it's the soonest I can get that shot off, you know? And then after that, I need to make sure that like I immediately upon firing will move into cover, because cover is a huge part of this too, and like having buildings around or things to interrupt where the enemy fire is coming at you is like a major part of like how you like, you know, stop damage as well. And you can lose limbs, you can lose guns, you can become a walking like a sitting duck, you know, very easily, at which point you have to eject or fucking abandon ship and lose the mission. So yeah, this is Phantom Brigade, once again is the name of the game, and it's fucking incredible.
It looks like the fantasy of commanding a set of troops as a new type.
Okay, like, yeah, I can see that.
Like the perfect information aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like feels like, oh, what if Amuro was in the chair instead of behind the wheel?
Now it's because it's very early. There's like issues I had where like HUD elements were like not scaling properly with the size of my monitor. Things like, you know, I ran into some of those issues. But like what happens is, outside of these battles, you are on a world map with a real like with a timer that like moves day-night cycle according to like how your platoon moves across this map and stuff. Almost like, you know, when you're moving around from area to area in Bionic Commando, you pick a destination and then you start moving, and then other things start happening around the rest of the map, like a little bit like that, you know. And then you can go into a garage, customize your mechs heavily, top to bottom, find details, apply paint apps to them, you know, go all in on the aesthetics if you want to. So like that part's all in there for the fun design elements and things like that, which these days you gotta do, you know, like nothing wrong with how cool everything looked in fucking Front Mission, but like, you know, these, like, now that we can get down to the nitty gritty of like I want to change the whole body to this, but I want just my right arm to be red, you know, or like just my fist or whatever the fuck, like you can do that, you know. So this game is the hottest shit. And I expect, once it's ready, which is going to take them a while, this to be a pretty big thing for at least mecha fans, you know. Go check it out though, and again, it's just like you're kind of stuck with the Epic Game Store is the only way to interface with it for now.
Until it releases, yeah.
And cool little things too as well, where like, you know, there's like, you have a list of pilots. If someone dies, they're dead. That's a permadeath. You lose that pilot forever. If you lose a suit, you lose that suit forever. And the way to get, you know, new suits is to go wreck enemies and salvage their parts. If you blow the fuck up out of everything, you get minimum salvage. But if you get them down to the point where they're crippled and they can't do anything, they eject and you get to keep the suit parts. You know?
Yeah!
So there is a actual game of like,
where'd they get that from, I wonder?
You absolutely have your Front Mission, or even if you want to go further before that, you got your Cyborg Justice. Give me that arm.
Yeah,
you know,
I want that arm.
Yeah. So there is a overkill and a sweet spot for like, oh fuck, he's got no weapons, he's gonna give up. And what's cool is like, when you click on the enemy units, you can see the timeline of like, he's gonna run around and like unload like his missiles or whatever, and then like you play your next turn out, you blow up that missile launcher, you blow up that left leg, it trips and falls and eats shit, and it's not dead yet, and then all of a sudden the enemy's timeline goes from that into he's gonna fall on the ground for 5 seconds, and then a little green thing says, and then he's gonna eject. You know. So like, yeah, you have that great little like
he's gonna piss his pants and maybe
he's gone. He's out, exactly. You know. So like, yeah, it's all of those little, you know, mechanics you want to see coming back from like, yeah, things like Front Mission and even like Hawken, with your ability to customize and stuff. Fucking yeah, robot people, you know, like go take a look at this one. It's quite sick.
I'm so excited that this is turning out like I remember seeing it originally and it looked kind of rough, but the original idea was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like, second look, like, oh, it's still a little rough, but it's a lot less rough. Like, my main hope is, like, I hope they build like a great game around this incredible combat system.
So this is where we're at, right? Because so again, Phantom Brigade, it's got this amazing combat system, and you do a tutorial where you do a 1v1 and you go, oh, okay, cool. And then it's like, cool, now you have 2 units to control and you have 2 enemies, deal with that. And your brain, like, I just want to see the dream of a battlefield full of all of these units and like seeing how insane that is. And then you spend like 15 minutes organizing a play.
Hope
right?
You have a good processor.
Well, yeah. And so I got to a point where the last battle I fought was I have 4 pilots and mechs out on the field, and I had 7 enemies, right?
That seems about as high as a game like that would actually go. Like, more enemies would file in, but
yeah, and that you blow them up, and then you can, if you don't escape in time, there will be drops for more and stuff like that, you know. And so like you look at everyone's like timelines, and then you set up the perfect one for each of your 4, and that'll take you, like, setting that up is like maybe 10 minutes for one play of 5 seconds to make it perfect, you know, like maybe not 10 minutes, that's exaggerating, maybe like 5, but it takes you a while, you know, to really be like, no, that's not the right line, I want him to move out and then cut a 90-degree like football pattern, you know, straight from here, because he dodges, and then at this 90-degree turn, he manages to hide right behind the wall while having just enough to get a shot off on this other thing. And you do all of that, and then you play it, and it's fucking great, man. There's some stuff that needs working out. Like, there's a fatigue system that's not communicated as efficiently as it should be. The heat system as well. Like, a lot of stuff that is in the HUD, even though the HUD looks very pretty, it's not communicating really important information. And if you just kind of go in guns blazing and overheating all the time, like, you're dead in seconds. Like, you're fucking not long for this world. But if you learn the rules and like how to balance and everything going forward, like, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, check it out. Phantom Brigade, early access on Epic Games Store now.
Real places later.
Also, just we had a fun episode of Get Into Fighting Games this week. Managed to successfully do another episode of The Newcomers. My friend Julian was able to call in, and we did a remote session. We played Punch Planet. And yeah, he's a beginner at fighting games as well. You know, kind of he's played a little bit of Street Fighter 2 back in the day and a little bit of Soul Calibur over the years, but overall just pretty green. So he wanted to come on and like learn some more about how to get in and stuff. So we did an episode. It was a lot of fun. Spoiler alert, like, he learned pretty quickly and was able to get his bearings in a surprisingly quick amount of time. So yeah, that's going to be coming out. We did the stream on Saturday. That should be coming out this week as well. Get Into Fighting Games, The Newcomers, Punch Planet. If you liked the Persona video where with Punch Mom, and you'll probably like this one as well. It's a different person, and we're gonna ideally try to kind of go through grabbing new people that are interested in learning and walking them through it. Who knows? We might even grab you, audience. Actually, no. We need a vetting system for like how to make that work. Can't just grab.
You can't be like, hey, I don't know how to play SNK games, and then they're busting out pretzels.
So I had an idea, and I think I'm gonna go with it. I need to like further figure it out, but I'm thinking of having it be like, if you're someone who's been subbed to me for a long time, or you have been subbed for a while, and I know you, and you're kind of like, hey, you're a name I recognize, you're pseudo vetted in this way, you're cool, then you can you can come on in,
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense, because I don't know if you've like happened upon this knowledge, Wooly, but people who subscribe to either of our personal channels or like this particular channel, like the Twitch version of the podcast, they're actually better than regular people.
There you go. Right?
Like, they're just better.
Yeah. So
yeah, those are the people you'd want to pick.
So if you're someone who's been around on, and you're a sub on Wooly Versus, and you want to learn how to play a fighting game, and you don't know how to play them, and you want me and Reggie to kind of walk you through it, we might just do that. You might be eligible to learn a fighting game. So
it's possible.
We will see. But yeah, we're having fun with that for now. So check it out over on the channel Wooly Versus on YouTube, as well as Disco Elysium continues, and this week as well. Yeah, so I was mentioning it some time ago, but we're all set up. Min is going to come over on Wednesday, and he's going to take his second character, and we're going to do those near raids. And
oh yeah,
we're going to see what's going on, so I can figure out this lore. So yeah,
what about the weekly shit?
I asked about that. Seems like it'll be fine.
I streamed it. I sat down to stream the weekly quest this Tuesday, and it took 15 minutes. And I'm like, thanks for making me label the stream this 15-minute quest. Like, it is antagonistic to streaming.
I see. Well, it sounds like Min's confident that this is this will be fine. So I trust in that. And I didn't realize that like you couldn't just kind of go back in and do whatever you want whenever you wanted. So like he has a second character that hasn't specifically done these quests.
They added a new game plus feature a little while ago, but it takes a couple patches for stuff to get added to it.
I see. Okay.
So since the near stuff is so new, it hasn't been rolled into the new game plus feature yet. So maybe in a year you'd be able to do that, but not currently.
Cool. Yeah, so that's coming up on Wooly Versus on YouTube. That's what we're doing. Now then.
Now, do I want to start with what I was talking about before, or do I want to segue off of Nier? Let's segue off of Nier. So Nier Replicant 1.224744871139 ... came out.
Mm-hmm.
And
how far did you get?
Not very.
Okay.
I'm trying to do. I'm to get all the shit. You need to do all the shit.
Yep.
So I'm doing all the shit.
Turn on your spoiler filter and then crank it up even a little bit further, because I do intend to go in.
Oh, I have no spoilers to discuss at all, other than Brother Nier looks like a dweeb as a child, and he's supposed to, because he looks cool as an adult. The game is so much more faithful than I expected. Like, it feels like... Oh god, how do I describe this? Nier Replicant 1.224744871139 ... feels like what would have happened to the game if it had been delayed for a year and came out on the next gen.
Okay.
Like it doesn't feel like, hey, we went back and completely redid all of it.
Star Fox Adventures.
It feels like a full 6 months to a year, another pass on it. And like, it feels so similar, except for when you touch the controls, you don't go ew. Like when you swing the sword, you're like, yeah.
Now, clearly, it looks quite a bit better than what things would have looked like 6 months to a year later from that era.
What the feel I'm talking about.
Yeah, but the feeling of a generational upgrade, yes. I know what you mean.
Yeah. And it really only steals a single thing from Automata, which is the way that like the dodge and like run works. Like you have a little dodge and then you take off into a sprint afterwards that feels very Automata.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels extremely, extremely super faithful. Including it's still a little janky. But now that's charming instead of like
Did they add the like massive like dodge mechanic like in its
no, instead you get instead it has something, it has a parry that has like a counterattack on it. And it has a, I don't know what to call it. Like I think Gene called it like an anime dash. It's like a nothing personnel kid dodge, where if you hit forward and dodge towards an enemy with the right timing, you just do a zip around their back.
Okay.
And you can start comboing their back. But yeah, other than that, like game feels the same but good. And I haven't gotten there yet, but I happen to know that the game will no longer allow you to fish in the wrong location.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
If you try, it will say no. Let's go to the beach.
Wow.
And it will make you go to the beach.
That's big. That's huge.
It is big. And as for talking about spoilers, I have nothing to say other than the game does in fact feature significant amounts of brand new content that you will have to work to get at.
I see.
Because it's all at the end.
Good. That's what I like to hear. Voice acting was re-recorded. Music is also redone.
Yeah, so the music, I have not played original Nier since 6 years ago, whenever the LP was. And the music has been re-recorded, and it's got stuff where people are saying, like, you know, the Demon Souls kind of thing of, it doesn't sound as good, or I don't care for the new instrumentation. In my personal experience, the music's stellar. There may be some slight changes, but it's still fantastic.
Okay.
Everybody's voice performance is still A+. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can listen to Kaine's rant in
Mm-hmm.
one of the
I did.
attract modes, and it's still great.
And that was like the proof of like, oh no, they're keeping it tight. They're not losing any fidelity here.
Brother Nier sounds good. On the voice acting front, honestly, the only thing that really matters is a significant value add is that every single line of dialogue from everyone is now voice acted.
Beautiful. Nice.
Like
nice,
when
nice.
you go talk to generic ass NPC about like some boar meat or whatever the fuck, they'll be like, "Oh, I want some boar meat," and the weirdest thing is that some of those characters are voiced by Papa Nier. He's not doing Papa Nier voice. He's doing like Chill Man Seth, I guess you would call it, but it is kind of weird.
I have other.
Ask me your questions. I will either not answer them or I will.
No. Like in regards to like voice acting, but I don't think you can't answer them. You're not far enough along to.
I'm literally, I did like the factory, and I haven't even done the fishing part yet.
Okay. That's great to hear. I feel as if like the original is also like it's been a while, it's been long enough that like if I'm going through it and like something new happens right away somewhere, I might not even pick up that it's new, you know, because I feel
all the new shit's like last 10%.
Okay.
Like it's way back there.
What about puzzles and pushing boxes?
They're pretty much exactly the same.
Okay.
Like it feels like a Halo anniversary situation. Like I might be able to hit a button and like take the coat of paint off. Like level of accuracy aside from like movement and jumping and hitting buttons.
fan-fucking-tastic. This is exactly what it needed to be, and like super cool that, you know, like this, like now, like it feels as if it's the only move you can make after Automata becomes a success is go to the last one and make it not shit.
Yeah. Oh, and there is a very, very minor spoiler that I do feel like I need to actually talk about because it's a big thumbs up. In the original game in Japan, there was some dialogue that hinted about one of the characters being gay that was removed for the English release, and it was significantly removed. It was like completely excised.
Yes, it was.
And they put it right the fuck back in.
Yeah. Like okay. All right. So that's hard confirmed. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, the PC version is kind of fucky. It's pretty fucky. So beware of that. If you run it at higher than 60 frames a second, the game speed starts to get weird. And the game is injecting corrupted texture code into itself in some kind of anti-mod thing, or it's like badly programmed. It's weird. So be aware of that. I bought it on the console.
I didn't even know there was a PC version.
Yeah, there's a PC version.
Huh.
I'm not saying don't get it on PC. I'm saying do your research.
Have they done that before? Have they done a simultaneous?
Yeah, Nier Automata was that.
Was it PC right away as well?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
okay.
the PC version was fucky.
Huh.
It was fucky wucky indeed. Hey, you know what else was fucky wucky?
PC came later.
Yeah, no. No, it was the same day. Months later? What?
Quick check. Fact check.
Did I
Podcast
play
pause.
it on? I thought I played it right when it came out.
PlayStation 4, March 7th, 2017. Windows, March 17th, 2017. Says here there.
Weeks.
Says here it was pretty same time.
Yeah. Am I having? Oh yeah, it was 2 weeks. No wait, PlayStation 4, Windows, March 17th. Oh, it was 10 days. It was 10 days.
No, that's not what I mean. That to me that's the same time. I thought it was like.
Everyone's like it came out months later. It's like no, it's 10 days. Come on, give me a break.
And how was PC version of that actually? Was that all right?
Fucky.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a reason why people suggest getting Special K for it.
Cool. Okay. Sounds good. What about this Bucky Falcon now?
Should name it Fucky Wucky Falcon because the ending is bad.
Oh.
So, do you remember last
as in the sequel hooks are bad, or it's just
I mean, you remember 2 weeks ago, I think it was, when I was like, I feel like they rewrote a bunch of this because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I really strongly feel that they rewrote a bunch of this due to COVID. Because the primary antagonist doesn't make any sense at all. Like, the primary antagonist is a very typical, like, I don't like the thing that's going on in the world right now, and I'm willing to take drastic steps to change it, right? But they do that thing where they go, oh no, everyone in the audience is going to agree with the villain. So they make them shoot a baby.
Oh,
to
yeah.
show everyone that they're serious.
Kitten test. Absolutely. Gotta do it.
But then later, their whole goal is like this pretty magnanimous, like humanitarian goal. And then like at the last second, they just pivot to, we'll kill everyone then.
Mm-hmm.
And like it makes zero sense. Like it legitimately makes no sense.
The problem of a villain that is too sympathetic.
Right? And it would have made more, cause like one of the big themes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier is about the forced relocation of displaced groups post the blip in the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a refugee crisis thing. But the way they are talking about it is like it's life and death. And in the very first episode, there's this thing that gets dropped where they're stealing a bunch of medicine for something that never comes up again. And it really, really felt like the story was actually about rich countries hoarding like medical wealth over displaced populations, but that doesn't show up. So like if it was about medical treatment for a plague on refugee people, the plot would have made sense because it would be about like life and death and the death of millions or whatever. But as it currently is, it's like it feels like BioShock Infinite where the villains jump to 11.
Didn't you say something about like stolen syringes?
Yeah, well, the first episode they're talking about stealing vaccines, and it never comes up again.
Yeah.
And you're like, and the show was literally filming when the Czech Republic got shut down for COVID. So like, it feels like there was a pivot. It's kind of a bummer then because like every part that's like Sam and Bucky hanging out and being, you know, the personal issues or, you know, them hanging out with Zemo or them hanging out with whoever, you're like, yeah, this is a fun watch. But every time it comes down to the major plot, the capital P plot, you're like, this just doesn't track. And like the whole final confrontation is stupid. I don't know how to explain it otherwise. Like the global crisis feels like kind of pointless.
Okay.
It's so yeah.
So they
watch it.
So they pick up threads from Civil War then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I'm not one to talk on it, especially because, like, bluntly, there's a lot of stuff in this show about the fact that Sam is a black guy, and about Captain America, and like they go to Baltimore and all sorts of shit. And I'm not even gonna pretend to speak on it, but some of it seems fucking weak and forced.
You know,
and like not great.
You should pretend to speak on it.
I should pretend to speak. No, it's just,
speak up. Let us know what you thinking.
It doesn't. I don't know.
Doesn't. How you feeling?
Like I'll leave that to the more qualified people, but I don't know. It doesn't feel
okay. All right.
I don't know, the whole resolution of the primary plot is just fucking weak. And I don't know. Elaine is there.
That's cool.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus shows up, and I'm happy to see that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is going to be part of Marvel going forward.
Are you saying that there are elements that are about blackness that are poorly written? Is that what you're saying?
It feels like it is.
Okay. That can happen.
Like, so in the first episode, they have a long sequence with War Machine and Sam hanging out and being like very friendly and like commiserating over the stuff with Cap. And I'm like, didn't these two try and shoot each other in the face the last time they saw each other? Are they only hanging out because they're the only two black characters the screenwriters could grab.
Well, they had their beef, but then the blip, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I'll wait to hear your opinion on it. I'm probably wrong.
I guess. It all depends on what happens when Netflix Luke Cage walks in.
That'd be.
That would finalize.
Yeah.
Then you would know for sure. You know? Yeah. Cool. All right.
Also, there's some costume changes in this show that suck ass.
Oh.
That are way worse than what they were at the start of the show.
Well, that's lame.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, that's Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's fine. It really should have come out before WandaVision like it was supposed to.
But then MCTV would have started off with a flop.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't call it a flop. It's just kind of like.
No, not. I was gonna say with a flaccid like reveal. You know, yeah, not flop, but just like a flaccid reveal. Then like WandaVision was
a good flaccid reveal. Hey, check this out, flop.
WandaVision was good enough that like everyone went, oh shit, oh, okay, So you want to keep that energy, and then Loki looks good. So yeah, if they opened up with that, then like a lot of people would have possibly not even tuned in for WandaVision.
Mm-hmm. I wonder. I'm seeing a lot of people being very upset with me right now.
Sounds like it's a divisive show.
And I would love to see a fucking point of national origin map on those opinions. I would love to see if, like, put little flags next to everyone's name and see how many people don't like my opinion and see if there's an America flag right next to it.
Well, I can tell you for a fact that most of them are, yes. Does it need to be more? Does it need to be state by state?
I don't know what states are what.
Because I mean, I can. Where did that? Oh shit! Damn it! I had a percentage. It's not loading. It's fucking.
It's most. It's like 80%, 85% US.
So it was. I remember at at highest it was 85, and then it started changing, and then we started seeing Australia picking up, and I was like, "Yo, let's go Australia." They were getting in there, but
good for Australia.
Australia is still in there. It's pretty sick. And then we got 19 badasses in Angola holding us down.
I don't know where Angola is.
Angola is right above Nambia in Africa. It's a little it's northeast of Botswana. We got 5 people in Botswana holding us down. Hell yeah.
There's something wild to me about when you get demographics and it's like 10.
It's good shit. I like that. What's going on up here? Greenland. 2? We got 2 homies in Greenland. What's good? How you doing?
Wait, I didn't think people lived in Greenland. I
No,
thought it was
they're
just
there.
like an ice sheet.
They're there. There's 2 of them. And they got good taste. What's going on over here? Oh, Russia's doing it. Russia's holding us down. What's up, Russia? Kazakhstan, I see you. 41. How you doing? Yeah. Yeah, they're in there.
All right. Well, regardless, if you have one takeaway from my opinion on Winter Soldier and Captain Falcon, it's Captain. God, I keep doing it. I wish is that, man, the writing on the villain needed way more work, or to just be completely different. Which sucks because the sub villain rules. Like, the secondary antagonist is fucking awesome. But the primary antagonist fucking sucks.
Yeah. I'll just hit the binge. I'll hit the binge.
Yeah, just do it. You can do it in like 5 hours.
Yeah, Japan's in there. Indonesia's in there. Y'all are in there. What's up?
Oh, also, I played the RE8 demo, and it's like 12 minutes long.
Does
It's
it
like,
does it kick you out at a certain point in time, or does it let you finish and then say bye, no more?
no, you get 30 minutes to play it, and if you finish it, they go, hey, you have 18 minutes left to do more. Do you want to do it again?
Okay.
But you can only do that within an 8-hour period on Saturday.
They tell
Like
you when?
Oh yeah, it might be the most negative experience I've ever had with a demo, because I did all my streams for the week, and I'm like, oh, I have to do the RE8 demo tomorrow night, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's literally the only time I can do it. Because
That
it ran
is
from 8 p.m. Eastern to like 4 in the morning.
I couldn't have I wouldn't have imagined there was a way to make it even worse than time limited anytime you want. And yeah, that would be it.
And
Wow.
then,
That's the
and you
single
can only
worst
play it for
demo.
half hour. And the first demo was a little longer, so you took your time on the first demo, and then you ran out of time. So then you rush through this demo and finish it super fast because it's like half as long. And then they play the same trailer at the end of both. And then the online locks you out after the 30 minutes and go, wait till May 1st till you get the 60-minute demo, which is the same 2 demos together in one demo.
See, here's what probably annoys me the most about that is that means that there's enough time to, in a lot of cases, that's basically enough time to just do the intended route as laid out for you. It's almost as if you were like waiting in line at PAX and then you get your chance at the booth, you know?
Yeah.
And like at that point, if you're going to do the exact same thing that the person in front of you and behind you did, just watch a video. What's the point?
Yeah. I don't get it.
Like if you're just like, here you are, go along the fucking roller coaster ride that is locked in for you. It's like, just show me a video then of the first 15 minutes. Like I want to
like a scam.
Sidetrack, explore, see what's up, do weird things. Or if you just wanted to just study Lady D's movements and see what she was.
No, don't do it.
You know, like how is her AI? How does she chase you? What's her behavior?
Well, she doesn't. She's not in it.
Oh, really? Oh, well, okay. All right, fine.
It's like, I don't know. It feels like a scam run by their marketing department to fucking get like engagement numbers up. Like it's absolutely sucks shit. Like the demos themselves, yeah, they're pretty cool. But everything about how to actually access them and play them, complete garbage.
Now this is the third time they've done it, right?
No, the second. They've done every Capcom. It's so fucking frustrating. They've done every version of fucky demo shit. They've had demos that had an amount of plays on them, like Monster Hunter, where you could only play it 30 times, but 30 times is like 10 hours, right? They've had the 30-minute, so they had the one-shot demo for Resident Evil 2, where you had you only had one death in the demo that you could.
That's what I remember.
And then RE3 that were timed. Now they have demos, and they've had like free weekend demos where you could play it between such and such a day. Like I think Lost Planet 2 had something like that. But now they have, it's a timed, limited time. Fuck, it's a mess. It sucks.
Yeah, someone
and
just called it a streamer trap. And it's like, oh yeah, I can see that, like people filing in for that half hour, yeah, and that's all you get.
It pissed me off, dude. I'm
Mm-hmm,
like,
mm-hmm.
I try not to stream on Saturdays. I like to have the idea that I have Saturday and Sunday to myself. But it's like, well, the RE8 demos get huge numbers, so I'd have to be stupid to not stream it. When can I stream it? Oh, the earliest I can stream it is 8 p.m. Great. All right, let's do this. Oh, I did it in 17 minutes, and there's not even a new trailer. Okay, great. Like, I feel manipulated.
Why even bother wiping the crust off your face for that? You know?
Kinda.
Yeah, that's
Why even bother
that's
wiping
shit.
my ass? Like, it just, and it sucks because it's giving me this like negative feeling about RE8, which, like, just put the demo out like a regular fucking like, or don't.
Mm-hmm. How
Like,
so?
I would legit have been happier with like a fucking 10-minute like little walkthrough video thing.
So we got an OG who's like, it's a free demo. How is that a scam? And it's like, well, in the exaggerated sense of the term, it's not, but it's just rather annoying that an established thing, which is, here's what a demo is, lets you try out a game that you're going to spend $60 on in a couple weeks. It's like, at the very least, give the bare minimum instead of starting to do this weird strip down thing that creates like frustration with the limitations as opposed to excitement for what you're about to buy.
Also, I don't know how many people are familiar with the phrase. I don't know if it's popular anymore, but there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Free demo isn't free for everyone. It's free for you and I, but it's not free for Capcom. And when I say it's a scam, I don't mean that we're being scammed. It feels like management of Capcom is being scammed by their advertising department, so that their advertising department can take this demo money, put a demo out, and manipulate it so that they can go, look at all these plays on such and such, look at these views, by like limiting it to very, very specific time periods and situations.
Yeah, just at that point, just put out a video. Like, make it, put out the first 15, put out the first 20, whatever you want it to be. Give everyone the experience that is crafted and tailor-made for the stage. And then fucking just drop the game itself when the time comes. Like, don't even bother, putting it out.
This feels like this is completely invented by my own mind. This has no basis at all other than my own personal feelings. But this feels like Joe Marketman is laughing his ass off because he paid a YouTuber to sponsor a video about Lady D stepping on you, and that did big numbers for the game's marketing. And Paul Marketing sitting there looking at his demo that him and the guys have been working on, and they're like, we're never gonna beat the Lady D steppy shit. Fuck. How do we...
Also, I feel as if it's worth pointing out too that when just hearing about this and thinking about if I were to even bother, like, what annoys me, like, sure, you can look at it and go like, oh, your opinion is based entirely on the fact that you would not be able to have a successful stream of this because it doesn't last long enough for that to work, and thus you're unable to monetize the thing and do the thing. But it's like, no, just as a regular player in my own time, that's a shitty thing. I want to be able to walk around corners and take my time checking out other shit and do things, and when I get my hands on any game at any place that.
How about this? If I wasn't doing this, I might be working a regular job where, I don't know, I might have to work Saturday night.
Perhaps.
Which meant I wouldn't be allowed to play it.
I have no interest in streaming this at all in any way, but I think that sounds like a shitty thing to hand out to people as far as getting a taste of this game goes. It's like, yeah.
Also, the demo ran from 8 p.m. Eastern to 3 a.m. Eastern. which means that if you were, say, I don't know, a Pip Pip Cheerio boy, the demo ran from 1 a.m. to 9 in the morning. That's bullshit. That fucking sucks.
Well, yeah. I remember
Oh, it had different times for different countries? Oh, okay. Well, thank goodness. People in the UK have enough to worry about without getting screwed on the demo. They gotta live in the UK.
when the DMC5 demo came out, that was like only on Xbox One when I blew off the dust and whatever. It's like you crack that bitch on and go as hard as you can. You know?
Resident Evil 7 demo was like supported for months and had shit added to it, and it was a massive success.
See,
I played
that
the RE5 demo like 100 times.
7 needed to convince you guys and like the entire existing fan base that this was a good idea, right?
Yeah.
They had to upsell you on the idea of switching to a first-person game.
I will give the demo one prop, and that prop is that about halfway through the demo, you're crawling through a hole in the wall, and you hear Lady D moving around, and she's like grabbing like some groceries, and like she grabs her shit, and then like no matter how fast you go, you can't reach her before she leaves through a door. And I'm like, oh, they know what they're doing.
Okay.
Because you're crawling as fast as you can to get to Big Steppy, but out she goes, never to be seen in the demo again.
Until the data miners get a crack at it. Well, anyway. Cool. Lame. But beyond that, was it a cool half hour? You know?
Yeah,
like,
it's
yeah,
cool.
It was. All right. Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. There you go.
The
You know.
PS5 adaptive trigger thing is terrible. Turn it off. It's bad. It does that thing where they're like, we're using the adaptive triggers to make it feel like you're really pulling the trigger of a gun. And what that means is that it makes it like to require 10 times the amount of trigger pull to shoot the gun, which sucks.
So, I generally enjoy how it can increase tension on things like a bow pull, for example, in Demon Souls, right? But there is a weird thing that happens when in Demon Souls specifically, that adaptive trigger function was set to on release you fire and then you go to pull it again, but there's a lock on it. Like it's you can't go back to full depression right away. You have to like let the lock release, and then there's a little, you know. And I'm like, no, I want to just hold it so that I get the fastest possible time between this press and the next one. And that was annoying. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That specific thing was annoying. So that's a feature of the adaptive triggers I don't want to see in any other games ever. I don't want to try to tap twice quickly and then the second time get stopped halfway going down. That feels bad.
So this is going to be one of those things where, you know what, I'm going to sidetrack myself. I just saw somebody in the chat like, but that's how guns work. Like, I don't care. I'm playing a fucking video game. I want the controls to be responsive, not realistic. Like, everyone's personal mileage is going to obviously vary dramatically here because we're talking about like literal physical tactile feedback. But my personal experience is that it just literally gets in the way. Like I go to pull the trigger and the resistance is such that it delays the shot by, I don't know, a couple frames or whatever. Because you have to pull it way harder than the almost nothing you would have to otherwise.
Okay.
I switched to the PS4 and PS5 controllers on FF14 for quite a long time before switching back to the Elite controller because I was having some hand issues. I was getting some RSI, and the trigger pull on the PS5 is actually really light, which I appreciate. And then making it so that it is like GameCube-ish level of push the trigger down. You know that last bit on the GameCube for RE4? Like, no, I don't want that. I want the controls to disappear in my hands and maybe provide some tactile feedback.
Not to mention that
Like
anytime you feel like you have to put force into something, like you don't want to feel like you can break it, you know?
There is enough resistance on the RE8 trigger pull that I go to pull it, and the regular force that I use on my hands, it makes it so that the controls stop, and then I go, oh, I have to pull it further to shoot. And you can turn it off, which I recommend doing that. I assume the people who don't have an issue with this are the people who pull their triggers much more strongly in general, so it doesn't make that big of a difference. But like, nah, no thanks. Like when you get around to it, or the next demo comes out that you can play on, like for my purposes, or for comparison's sake, load it up and like fire the pistol once. And like, I'd love to get your opinion on it.
Because I like the idea that guns can feel different on the controller.
Yeah.
That sounds cool, but yeah, it's like when it comes down to the most important thing, which is just how fast you can pull the trigger and whatnot. It's like don't put physical resistance there. That shouldn't be the case.
Like, one of the things that I forgot what I was going to say is the thing I was just going to say, and then I forgot.
Well, I was going to say that the Switch has a good nice. You saved it by not saving it. The Switch and the 3D Rumble, or whatever the fuck they were coining that term as, like, that's something that is like, yeah, let's go in that direction. Let's go in the direction where, you know, you cast a spell and you feel it rumble and shoot out through the top of the controller, and you feel this kind of like intelligent feedback that's more like localized to specific, you know, types of shakes and vibrations and whatnot. But don't get into this like game of we've changed the button sensitivity for this moment or for this thing, or like I don't want to get into that, or into like we've changed the tightness of this thumbstick. Could you imagine? You know, it's like, oh, you're in the mud now. Your thumbstick is really stiff. Like, so fuck off.
Yeah, I actually had two more things to say that I remembered. One is that Fortnite has the adaptive trigger thing, and I had to turn them off immediately because they made me worse at shooting. Like, they made the controls less responsive because it took longer to pull the trigger. And the other is that it's like one of the things that I guess like I'm tacitly disagreeing with a bunch of people. It's like how they personally handle the controller. Paige played Bayonetta, and she played Bloodborne. And fighting Ludwig, and also after doing a session of Bayonetta, she had the situation where she was just fucking white-knuckling the controller so bad that she couldn't play anything for like a week afterwards. And after seeing that shit, I've been like more cognizant of like, don't grip your shit, you know, like try and do everything as softly as possible, because I'm playing games all the time. Like, I don't want to fuck my hands up, right? And so this adaptive trigger shit, just like, the Demon Souls one is great because it doesn't stop you, it just gives you a feeling but
the bow does put a blocker up for a second, though. If you try to quick fire the bow, it does actually restrict you.
It's not like, how do I put this? It feels like it's the minimum you could get away with to cause that feeling, right? The RE8 one, I really would like other people to chime in and for you to test it yourself. It feels like they're using the feature to the absolute maximum.
Okay.
And it feels bad.
So I talked about it a bit before, but like when I was like realizing how many movements were required to get in there with Nago Ryuki and when Strive was out, I got my glove going, right? Like I legitimately got a glove where I've isolated the thumb to be able to, like it's like because I was playing it super nonstop that weekend, and my thumb was hitting that point where I'm like, ooh, I don't like that feeling. God, let's get that and let's make that go away. But also, there's only one day left, so then the fucking glove comes out to protect against long-term pain.
Now, let me ask you a question. Did you played Devil May Cry 5 on the Xbox, right?
Yeah.
The SE, I mean.
Yeah. I switched over to the PS5 eventually. Yeah, I played both, yeah.
Do you use the adaptive trigger for Exceed?
I only played Virgil.
You know what?
I didn't even pick.
You don't. You don't need the Resident Evil 8 demo. Go load up Nero and Exceed with the adaptive trigger thing on, and tell me how that feels.
Gotcha.
I'm not going to say anything. I don't even want to, praise it or hate on it. I'm just genuinely curious as to how you feel about it.
Okay. I mean, I can psychically project myself into the future and come back right now and tell you I hate it.
Okay, guess it sucks.
Like
it sucks ass.
The timing on that feature is frame perfect.
No, it's not.
But
it stops you.
No, but I mean, like there needs to be absolutely zero hindrance between my brain thinking Exceed right now and it happening.
No, it feels like a motorcycle. It's hard.
It's a frame perfect feature.
Wooly, please. You know what? I have to use the restroom. I'll be back in a few minutes. It would be great if you could come back with the opinion on that. It would take too long.
It would take too long.
Ah, darn. Okay, well, next week then. I'd appreciate it. But I really have to use the washroom. I'm going to piss myself.
BRB.
perfect.
Yo, that sucks. Yo, that feels really
so
bad.
glad-
I hate it.
I'm so
That's not
glad
good.
that is the that you could weigh in on this fucking hot topic, because it blows.
I don't want to feel anything. I don't want to feel anything when I exceed. Don't do that.
And it's so strong too. Like it's really heavy.
Now, yes, you can turn it off. It's in the options called trigger effect, and
You
thank
should.
God. But boo at that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the restriction. It's just the vibration of the trigger as it's rumbling to like be like a motorcycle revving. Yeah, like, no, please.
Well,
It's there. It's there because like if you're doing the hold revs, you know, then it's like, again, it's emulating the motorcycle like turn or whatever. But if you're trying to max act, you're just getting like a shit feeling when you do it. So
I tried it for a bit, and it's like all of my like ability to max act just went right out the window. Just couldn't do it anymore.
again, like the fact that my fingers and hands are even involved in the input process is already a problem.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just hit the Ethernet port in the back of the skull.
You can reduce all the lag that way. Let's just get right to it. Inputs.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have one last thing to talk about this week, and that is, I want to thank something. I'm very thankful this day for Orb, because Orb has done me fine this week. Because Orb has convinced the Quebec government that I get to hop the line for a vaccine next week. Woo!
I too am scheduled because of Orb.
Oh yeah, really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't think you were orbing it up.
Oh no, my my BMI is whew, it ain't good.
All right, woo.
It ain't good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This master plan. It was totally worth it.
Just take the L.
Not take the W, man. Gonna walk past all those skinny people. Gonna get my jab. Take that, healthies.
It's like the worst possible reason to be able to go do this, and it's just like
No, the worst possible reason is that you're like suffering from like renal failure or chemotherapy.
Well, but that makes it the best reason.
Oh, okay. I understand what you mean.
Yes.
Yeah. I had it backwards because like yeah,
So.
being horribly ill, it's terrible.
Yeah. But yay, Canada's finally rolling out, so that's nice.
Well, now that you're scheduled, and now that my buddy already got his jab, and I'm scheduled, I do want to point out what might be the funniest thing about this whole process is that Quebec opened it up to people that have like, oh god, it's so many health conditions, right? Like you saw the list, I assume. It's huge. And they've decided that we're going to go on the honor system. That when you sign up, you go, I totally have one of these. And when you show up, they go, do you have one of these? And you go, yeah. And then they get you with it.
Seems to be the way they're doing it. Yep.
And I'll be very real with y'all. If I was a skinny, tall man who was in perfect health, I would suddenly, dramatically come down with the diabetes for sure. Wink!
There's a train of thought on it though, where it's almost like, anyone who's really excited to get it should, certainly, because the concerns are for those who should be going but aren't, right?
I spoke to one of my neighbors a few weeks ago, in which I was like, man, they open up that vaccine shit soon. Can't wait to get mine. How about you? And they were like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't know? What do you mean you don't know, like, about the AstraZeneca or the Pfizer or whatever? And they're like, nah. I don't know. I heard some things. And I'm like, And I'm like, okay. And then earlier, like a week earlier, I remember hearing them going like, oh, this lockdown's so shit. I can't wait to get back to traveling. And I'm like, you're fucking kidding yourself, bro. You are,
Hey, Pat.
like, you are crazy.
Yo. How did your conversation with your parents go?
My mom and dad?
Yeah.
Mom and dad are already vaccinated. Well, half vaccinated.
That's good.
They couldn't get on that shit fast enough. My dad has had 5-6 heart attacks. He's got a pacemaker, and he's a busted pile of shit. And my mom has got diabetes. So, like,
I'm glad to hear
they were
it.
like in line as fast as they could.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
And they also miss me and Paige. Like, we can't really hang out.
That's dope.
Do we even need to continue this conversation, or
I'd
does, like,
rather not.
You asking me the okay?
How about some sponsors? Yeah.
Yeah, let's get some sponsors. Before that, if you want to check out my crap, you can go to twitch.tv/PatStaresAt. We're doing Near Replicant and Disco Elysium this week with some Returnal on Friday.
This week, the podcast is sponsored by this week the podcast is sponsored by who is it? It's ExpressVPN.
ExpressVPN? You know what's great about ExpressVPN?
What's that?
Well, first of all, it's a fantastic VPN service that I use constantly. But it also means that in the near future, when I have the 5G in my blood, I'll be able to use it more effectively.
Yes, this is true. Because, you know, there's lots of bad things that happen when you are located somewhere and somebody or some company or some service says, hey, you're over there. We don't like that. You're not allowed to do things. You're not allowed to watch something. Fuck you. You're Canada. Boo.
Canada, no right to watch good show. Bad.
Yeah. You know, and sometimes it's like, hey, it took long enough for the show to come out here. I mean, America's had that show for a while now, but we haven't had access to that show. So now you can be like, hey, put a little flag on, says I'm American. And then everyone goes, what, really? And they're like, yeah. And then you can now get access to the show. It's just that simple. And you don't have to limit it to America, of course. That's just the example that comes to mind. But you can watch Studio Ghibli films on UK Netflix. Like, we don't have access to that. You can watch anime on Japanese Netflix. You got all kinds of exclusive things that are only in specific regions, and all you got to do is get on there with ExpressVPN and set it to where you want to be, and it'll be like, oh, okay, here you go. You're welcome. You're allowed in. It's that simple. So you can, of course, stream all that you want in HD with no problem, no buffering, no lag, compatible with all your devices, phones, laptops, media, consoles, smart TVs, and more. And not only is it changing your location, it's encrypting your data so that you're surfing safely and anonymously. So that's it. It's a single button click, and it works well. I'm a fan. You can go to expressvpn.com/superbeast to get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. That's expressvpn.com/superbeast. Thanks, ExpressVPN.
Thanks, ExpressVPN.
This week, the podcast is also sponsored by Brook Linen. Now, I hear that once you do get your 5G, there's going to be a couple moments you're going to have where you're going to feel it as your body gets stronger.
When Paige got her shot, she couldn't lift her arm for like a day and a half.
Yeah. The big old dead arm and stuff, right? So you're going to hear about that. And you're going to, you're probably going to be like, yeah, let's go lie down for a bit. So if you're lying down as you wait for your body to power up, why not lie down on the highest quality smooth sheets that you can? Get that garbage off your bed that you've been ratting about on, shedding on. For all we know, you got the dogs on it, rolling up in it.
There are probably 4 different types of dog stains on your sheets.
Damn, I can only think of 3. That's incredible. So there, you don't even know what's going on, and putting up with that, like, don't do it. You can get some quality linens in your house. They got a birthday sale happening right now. Oh, that's cool. Okay, they got site-wide savings on all things comfort, biggest sale of the year. Yeah, it's really ridiculously good sheets. That's the deal. We can mess around. We can futz. But here's the deal: you feel a high thread count quality sheet on your body, and you're like, damn. What have I been waiting so long for? Why did I take so long to get on this? Over 75,000 5-star reviews and counting. Hard to argue with that. They're confident enough that you'll love everything you get at Brook Linen. They'll even offer a 365-day warranty. So, yeah, man. You get one of them good quality sheets with the heft on it. You feel the weight when you put it on and you wrap up, and you can just let your insides, get inoculated
the mRNA is going to give you that 5G, but that's going to suck, so you're going to really, really want to be comfy.
Yeah. Unless you went with non-mRNA, but
which I don't know, what is that? Like a retrovirus? I don't
antigens, antigen based, essentially.
I'm not a doctor. I just hope it improves my cell phone service.
Get everything you need for a spring refresh during Brook Linen's biggest sale of the year. Shop at Brook Linen Birthday Sale. Going on right now. If you're listening to this podcast after the sale ends, don't worry. You can still go to brooklinen.com and use promo code SUPERBEAST to get $20 off any purchase of $100 or more. That's BROOKLINEN.com and enter promo code SUPERBEAST to get $20 off any purchase of $100 or more. Brook Linen, everything you need to live your most comfortable life. Thanks, Brook Linen.
Thanks, Brook Linen.
Last, but certainly not least, the podcast is sponsored by Freshly, who are going to give you all the healthy foods you're going to need while you stay healthy. Because healthy's good, right?
Yes.
I certainly... Now, if I had been eaten Freshly and been a little more in control, I perhaps would have not been eligible for the services that we are discussing on the podcast at the moment. But nonetheless, Freshly is here to.
Could have done, right?
What?
You could have gotten all nice and healthy and slim with Freshly, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna do the rollout for, the fatties, and you just fucking bulk up, like you'd be like, set your appointment for 2 weeks and be like, I can do it.
Well, I'll tell you what. Like, as soon as I'm done getting my vaccine, then I'm gonna be ready to, get back down, to slim back
totally
down.
Gonna
right?
Happen. That's 100% gonna happen.
Absolutely, committed, for real.
Me too.
Did it before.
Totally.
Can do it again.
Yeah.
I bought a rowing machine.
I don't know why that's so funny.
What?
I think it's just tone of voice. Anyway.
Dinner time can be chaotic, but with Freshly, it's easy. Their chef takes care of your meals a few nights a week and takes the pressure off of you. So there you go. Trying to stay in shape and eating right is hard. Freshly can help. That's what we need right now. Delicious meals designed by nutritionists, cooked by chefs, making eating easier, better, gooder. No stressing and tired, cooking food hard.
Tell me gooder is in there. Tell me gooder is on the page you're reading.
No.
Oh, man.
Chef made, freshly, nutrient-packed, delicious meal. Fresh to your door, no cooking required. It's great.
Just put it in your mouth.
Yeah, every week you're dealing with the packed ingredients, portioned out, and everything you want. And your meals are always delivered fresh, never frozen, ready to heat and enjoy in just 3 minutes. New meals being added each week. Convenience of chef-made, nutritionist-designed classics right to your kitchen. So, yeah, we've been waiting long enough. Now we're in the clear, right? We've been saving up all this fat so that we can go get our vaccinations. And
been working on it for years. I saw this coming.
And now that we're in the clear, we can go back. The facade is off. The jig is up. We can go back to what it's supposed to be.
I don't know. We're getting those boosters next year, probably. I might keep mine on just in case.
Oh.
I'm trying to think ahead here.
There you go. Okay, you're planning ahead. That's true. Well, look, right now Freshly's offering listeners $40 off on your first 2 orders when you go to freshly.com/superbeast. Stop stressing about dinner. Go to freshly.com/superbeast for $40 off your first 2 orders. That's FRESHLY.com/superbeast for $40 off your first 2 orders. Thanks, Freshly.
Thanks, Freshly.
Okie doke. News. Stuff's going down. We can get into it.
Before we go on, I want to respond to some bullshit I saw earlier this week, where somebody asked, like, why are the ads so long? And man, I want to fight you in the street. I am like fucking so stoked to do the ads every week. Shut up. It's my favorite part of the fucking show. I'm always losing it.
So are we. But that's besides the point. Speaking of always losing it, boy.
Yeah, what do you got?
A bunch of new sponsors. Every time. No, anyway. Listen, they don't always come back, folks, and you can. It's all good. Hey, that's not.
There's only so much hair out there, dude.
Yeah, and it's fine. They know, we know. It's all good. Keep on pushing for me to talk about forcing your balls to be shaved. Maybe one day it'll happen, but not anytime soon. I can tell you that.
You got them all, dude. You got them all.
Let me just scroll a little bit here. Yeah. No, that's fucking, that's over and done with, buddy. They're out. But what's not out? If I were to go back over here, is that RE4 VR thing. So
I'm
that
torn
exists.
on that. On the one hand, that's a cool game, and a new version is cool. And on the other hand, that shit looks terrible.
So Resident Evil 4 VR exists, and there's details that have emerged as well as some gameplay. And from what I can tell, this is not a new version of Resident Evil 4. It's a different game.
Yeah.
Because you legitimately are able to you can dual wield weapons. Like you can do shit
and it's
and move in ways that are just not at all RE4. Like, yeah, this is a different game. I guess it's an example of like trying to convert the RE7 work into previous games and see if that's a thing.
I don't know. It looks completely different because RE7 didn't have like the hand movement shit. It was just purely visual.
But it's like retrofitting that style of gameplay into the maps that the original game had.
No, because RE7 controlled the same. Like if you're using VR, RE4 VR is going to be like the pivot and then teleport to a spot and then shoot kind of VR thing.
No, there's walking around.
There's walking around?
Of course there is. Yeah, here, I'll send you a footage of it.
Well, not of course. A lot of VR games don't do that.
I don't know if Half-Life Alyx inspired people, but
dual wield, move via stick or teleport. Okay, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Teleporting is definitely a comfort option for those who get motion sickness, because walking speed in VR games can absolutely make you feel queasy. If it's not handled very, very carefully. But yeah, you can walk around. There's the footage here shows that. You also, and it says, what does it say? Textures updated, overhaul geometry, enemy behavior, high frame rate, spatial audio, out later this year. So yeah, this is coming out at some point in the next couple of months. Is the PS5 VR thing going to exist?
No. It hasn't even been like, I don't think it's even shown.
So this is going to be, so this is just going to be like, I guess, PC and PS4 VR then. Well, sure. I wonder what dual wielding will mean. And I also wonder what, like, boss fights are going to turn into.
They're probably just going to be shooting galleries.
Yeah, you can't have a boss fight that's movement heavy.
Oh, you'd fucking throw up.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, like, any of those, like, almost all of them, really, where, like, you're not just moving and shooting and moving through a shooting gallery, but, like, you have a big-ass fucking, thing chasing you or whatever, and, or you got to move throughout a room. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. What is this? Hold on. Did I miss a detail that's really important here? Oculus VR.
Yeah, it's for
Facebook
the Oculus
exclusive.
Quest 2. Yeah.
Well, fuck me. Okay. Never mind then. Yeah, probably turn some of those boss fights into their, like, Umbrella Chronicles versions of themselves.
Yeah, probably. I assume that's what the whole game's going to be. It's going to be like you're in the village center, and then you're going to, like, go to the next set piece. Like, I seriously doubt it's going to retain the kind of structure that the original did, where you're actually, like, getting keys and shit like that.
Speaking of not retaining the structure of the original, it would appear that IGN Entertainment has acquired Humble Bundle.
Oh, man! This story fucking blows.
And that acquisition is one thing, but alongside that comes some changes that have been announced about Humble Bundle, which, to be fair, I have not kept an eye on in a long time. I remember when I first heard about it.
Humble a couple of years ago.
Okay. Well, they just announced...
Hadn't done anything to it yet.
Mm-hmm. They just announced what they'd be changing then. If that's an old story about the acquisition, then the updates are that the default charity donation will be 5%, and you can
down
update
from 15, I think.
And you can up that to maximum 15%.
Oh.
Before, you could go way above that.
100%.
In this case, you are now capped at maximum 15%, and it automatically puts it down to 5%. Primary focus shifted from supporting charity to profit margins.
Oh, wow.
So, yep, they've updated the...
That's like sales tax. That's like the exact amount that you could use to write off on taxes.
So, this is the type of thing where you hear about what Humble Bundle is, and it sounds fantastic, because it's like usually indie games, well, it's at least how it started, indie games and indie developers putting up games for, sale to this that can support the developer, support charity. You can choose how you want to handle that, and it's just win-win all around. Eventually, it grew and got larger publishers involved, and there would be, I'm pretty sure there was a EA Humble Bundle at some point.
I remember,
or a Ubisoft Humble Bundle and things like that. So, but the point remains that if you're setting your donation amounts to whatever you're comfortable with at whatever rate, then you could increase the amount and it would unlock extra games. But again, it's meant to be a sort of a win-win situation. Well, that acquisition from whenever is, you don't acquire a company unless you plan to make a profit on that acquisition at some point, don't you? So yeah, they might have stayed silent for a while, but they just recently came out and went like, nope, we're gonna cap it at 15.
No money now, money.
No longer humble.
I would like a money, please.
Somewhat braggadocious bundle.
Yeah, this thing is like just completely pointless now. Sir, can you not?
Now again, I feel as if I have not heard of or kept an eye on Humble releases in a very long time. There was a point in which I would check out every one and go in and I was supporting it heavily when it first came out, but that has just kind of not been the case after a certain amount of time. So I don't know what was going on with it recently anyway, per se, but
I stopped paying attention once IGN bought it. It seemed to immediately shit itself up.
Well, this is a pretty clear-cut example of like nice things and why you can't have them. Yeah. So
that's right. IGN, not content to give God Hand bad scores, is out there straight up murdering children.
You heard it here first. But hey, itch.io can be acquired on Epic Game Store now. And
what? It's its own fucking launcher. What the hell? What?
Yeah, but there's an app, and as an April Fool's joke, they put it on Steam Greenlight years ago, and then it got shut down. As an app within the I'm so confused by the story. Like I'm not gonna lie, because what I read, there's a tweet describing how itch.io is now available on the Epic Games Store, so you can buy a launcher for games within a launcher. And then underneath that, the itch.io founder saying that years ago, as an April Fool's joke, we were on Steam Greenlight, but then it got shut down and Steam basically refused to allow it to exist on the platform. So now here it is again on Epic Games Store. It's so weird. It's such a weird thing, but yes, this is a thing.
Do people call it itch.io?
I don't know. What do they call it? Do they call it itch.io?
I call it itch.io. Am I wrong?
I say itch.io because if you just type itch.io, that I don't know. I don't know. I've never. I'm making a tactical decision because I haven't heard people say it in real life. I say it because that's the URL you have to type in, right? Cross knots. Anyway.
It's cross knot. Oh, fuck! Ah! God damn. Man, you need to get into Kingdom Hearts and get into the Keyblade. That's right, the fucking Creek X key blade.
Speaking of cross, we got some updates about Guilty Gear Strive and cross play.
Oh yeah.
So the location test has been going on, and some interviews and some new information has been coming out. So right now, as it stands, Guilty Gear Strive has crossplay between PS5 and PS4. They did get heavy feedback on their last survey about people demanding PlayStation to PC crossplay.
It would be nice.
Yes, and according to the translations of an interview that was recently held, they're working on it, but it's very difficult.
Oh, cool.
There are many problems that need to be overcome, so it can be added to the game. It won't, at this time, we've decided not to implement crossplay on release. We are, however, looking at implementing it in the future. So hope you can support the game as we're working towards crossplay implementation. So they're working on it.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. Everyone needs to get on the level of Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. Crossplay across all platforms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also alongside that were some footage drops back just like back in the day. We got some over-the-shoulder camera footage of matches, and we're seeing changes. Nagaryuki got touched.
Leo's ruined.
Leo got touched. Potemkin got touched a little bit.
Oh, what they changed on Pot?
Pot's 2P is now slower to like mash, and the hitbox on it has been, or the hurt box on it, the hitbox has been reduced. So basically, it stops around his knuckles as opposed to the tips of his fingers.
His 2P?
Isn't it his? I think his crouching like.
You mean the one where he does like a prayer?
No, the swipe.
The swipe? Oh, you mean his...
Is that 5P?
2S. No,
2S. Okay, excuse me.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That thing was really far.
Yeah, 2S comes out slower now if you're mashing it, and then that has been reduced. I haven't seen any other changes on him. I'm not too sure what else there is with that, but that's the only one I saw a tweet with.
You could nerf Potemkin 5-6 times and he'd still be great.
Yeah, he could take a couple, certainly. What else happened? Leo, the big one with him is now he used to be able to do the crossover like Rekka attack into a hit confirm into a super. He can no longer do that. And he could never do that in the past, actually. That was new to this game, and it was really strong. But that's no reason to say that like he's dead or worthless now, because even though that really good thing was taken out, what he does get instead of that is a like soft knockdown when he crosses over, and then he has a 5-way mix-up. So
I don't like a 5-way mix-up.
No,
you can't
it's
flip a coin on a
it's a
five-way
pretty
mix-up.
strong thing to have. Exactly. Sorry if the language is getting a little lost in the weeds here, folks. But the point is that there's some Guilty Gear Strive changes, and we're just talking about the specifics with each character. So yeah, that Leo change is not going to cripple him because he gets something pretty good out of it still. And Nago Ryuki, the bite has more damage and it reduces the blood gauge way faster. So, like, it does comparable damage to his regular throw now. So it's actually like pretty good when you land it. It's not just a little bit. And then the blood gauge just like almost instantly drops.
Well, that's nice.
It's nice. It's nice. He also before he used to be
suicide by accident.
No, it'll happen still. Excuse me. It's still going to happen, but now like you basically have
Now it's your fault.
Yeah, but it's also like it's interesting because it's like it's not command grab as a reward for working and conditioning the person. It's if I don't command grab you, I'm dead. You know, like I'm not. It's like I have to land this grab or I die. You know, and I would like it. It would be interesting if they gave him an anti-air option on that, so that he'd have to read your mind a bit at the very least, because it's like, okay, he's going to suffer for this, so give him the ability to do a grounded version or an air version if he calls a jump out or something like that, you know. Spencer had that in Marvel, for example, where he has a ground throw or an air throw variant if you happen to hop up. And then they also made it so that his awesome 5K, the boot, the business boot, it kicks you further and further away now, so he can only do it to you about twice instead of a bunch of juggle reps. It probably drops some really strong combos away from his repertoire now. He can't.
They really should They should have nerfed Nago. He was way too strong during the beta.
Yeah,
he needed lots of nerfs.
He needed to be brought down to our level.
Brought way down.
Indeed. So yeah, it's where there's some changes happening, and we're still day minus 48, right? So we will see what the final ends up looking like. But
it's coming, unless they delay it again.
If they get out PC to PlayStation crossplay in like the first couple months, or like around the same time as like their first rollout of content, like that'd be fucking incredible.
That'd be great.
So that's cool.
Before we switch over to the next story, I am going to have to take a small break as somebody needs to go outside very badly. I need to pee on my neighbor's lawn, if you'll excuse me.
BRB. All right. So,
I have emptied the dog.
I forget what I was saying, but anyway, next story is a pretty fucking big one, actually. So, someone is taking Apple to task because of the implication that they can buy movies or TV shows,
dude, this
digitally,
lawsuit rules,
without actually fucking owning them. So, and it's such an obvious one for all digital property that you can purchase. Like, it's such a basic but fucking important thing. Essentially, if you buy something through Apple services and it is downloaded, then yay, you have it. It's on your account. That's good. You can watch it whenever. But if you buy something and then you don't download it, and then that thing is removed from the services, you can never get it, even though you bought it. And the idea that the licensing deals can effectively take away something that you've purchased means that telling someone they bought something, even though they didn't, is a lie, and that it doesn't meet the definition of the word buy. So, this lawsuit is basically potentially going to set a precedent for what it might mean, at the very minimum, to have services like this where you purchase your digital content lead to one where they have to host it for anyone who has bought it going forward, even if you can no longer purchase it new.
Sue Konami to get PT back.
Or if Sony kills their PSN at any point in the future, if you have a PSP Go and you've bought games on it, you should still be able to go and re-download those games.
Yeah.
In theory.
I want Apple to lose every lawsuit. Even lawsuits they're in the right end. I just wish they would lose them.
At bare minimum, I don't necessarily think that this applying to them is something that comes back to every other company that doesn't do this, but it would be nice if, like, this type of thing were to start becoming more widespread, because like a purchase of something digitally, it shouldn't be like the idea that you download it and preserve it is nice, but they shouldn't be able to delist it and then remove or revoke effectively the purchase that you made.
Says buy on it.
Now
not
they can
rent.
Now they can, in their EULAs and agreements, define it to be whatever they want. But if I'm not mistaken, in court they've already also had cases where they're like, yeah, but no one actually reads those, therefore it's not fair to actually.
EULAs are not legally binding.
They're not legally binding because that exactly
they're,
like it.
They're just a single step to get in your way on the way to lawsuit.
Yeah,
but EULAs are not and have never been found to be legally binding.
Right. And so the alternative is for them to change the word buy to lease.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that would really help sales, wouldn't it? That would tank every digital market.
Yeah.
Because Johnny whoever is going to go, what the fuck? I used to buy these.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean you lease it?
It's a closer step towards actually owning the digital thing you bought.
Yeah.
Now, if they go out of fucking business and shut down, then I suppose, those servers would no longer host what you've purchased.
Well, there's no one to sue.
That's, you know what I mean?
Unless you want to go over to Tim Cook's house and start beating on his knees.
But that aside, when you buy something, you should fucking be able to come back and get it when you want it.
I want to clarify something. When I said I hope Apple loses all their lawsuits, people were like, even the Epic one? No, I want them both to lose that lawsuit. I want the judge to be like, you're both dumb, and have Tim Cook and Tim Sweeney. Are they really both Tims? Jesus Christ.
Tim and Tim.
Have to, like, take turns spanking each other with a paddle in full view of the court.
Ass
and
out.
they can only stop once one of them cries.
Full red cheeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, beforehand, they have to be shot up with drugs to make them super strong.
Okay, but this would require a pretty elaborate setup, because at this point you need a carousel of sorts that allows them to spank and rotate, so that ass being blasted can be seen in full view of the court.
Yeah.
It is not fair to the spankee to be exposed at that point. You need a rotating carousel that shows both asses being spanked.
Yeah. And these guys are idiots. You could call them cocks. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Yeah,
No, I wasn't going for that kind.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you're going for
no, I was really thinking more of like a lazy Susan.
The lazy Susan of fate?
No, just the one that you stand on when you're getting your ass spanked for your corporate misdeeds.
New idea. All right. You take Tim Cook and you take Tim Sweeney, and you go to my old playground that had that like merry-go-round that had like just the bars, and you strap each of them so that their ass is pointed outwards. Then you put it next to a big paddle. Then you get a motorcycle and you wrap a chain from the motorcycle's back to the underneath, and you wrap it right around.
Oh, okay.
And then you rev that motherfucker. And you fucking drive off. So they get into a death spin.
So they don't get to do the actual spank on each other. They just have to receive.
No, gravity's doing it. Well, inertia is doing it.
Right. Okay. So it's a baked in spank punishment carousel.
Yeah. You ever seen the videos of people hooking up fucking motorcycles to those fucking things?
No. But okay, I believe it.
Hey, do you think you'd be able to hold on with your own power? You're wrong.
Yeah, no. I used to in Grenada. There was a playground near our house, and it was it had a not a merry-go-round. It had a well, it's not a carousel. What did we fucking call it? I forgot what we called it.
Like a merry-go-round.
Yeah, no, it was a merry-go-round. Yeah, no, that's what it was. And like we would do the stupid thing of holding on for dear life.
Clip super fast.
And then
I just typed in motorcycle merry-go-round and got the exact thing I was thinking of.
So we did the thing where like 5 friends would spin it over and over and over until it's like impossibly dangerously fast and you're holding on for dear life. Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm glad there's a video of that so that I don't have to do it.
For some reason, like, the battle between the Joshes is wholesome, but the battle between the Tims is
toxic.
Blood sport.
Joshes are better than Tims. It's been confirmed by the recent events. Good on those Joshes. They raised a bunch of money for that hospital. And they let that little kid win.
The Josh that won is the best. His fucking crown didn't even fit.
Well, he got treatment at the hospital they were raising money for.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Like it's a fucking win all the way around.
Holy shit. I didn't even know about that vector. That's another angle of win. Holy, yeah. Fucking damn. Wow. Yeah, that's some good wholesome weekend right there. That's great. Honestly, like, you see, those are the kind of videos where you're just like, yeah, okay, I can fucking get me one of those, A
Josh?
Yeah, one of them kid things.
got one right here.
You got one right there. You got one right there.
Mwah.
Yeah.
He stinks.
Yeah, you know, every once in a while you see something nice and wholesome, and you just go like, "Oh man, having a kid there would be fun." That would be.
You mean in the
that
field?
would be cool. Yeah, like to having a kid so that you can train him or her for battle, to then go out and vanquish enemies with their pool noodle, and then getting the crown. That's fucking badass. And a wrestling belt that doesn't even fit. It's the raddest shit. I want one of those. Anyway. Yeah, so
Is your kid gonna be named Josh, Wooly?
no. How many rounds on the carousel until the Spanks are now doing so much damage that their ability to hold their bowels is no longer a guarantee?
As long as it takes.
Because at certain points that does happen. You know that, right?
As long as it takes.
You know that, right?
You know what? Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just flip it script. Whoever can go the longest without shitting wins the lawsuit.
Man, that was some old internet. I saw that picture. That one burnt in. That was the formative years.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Frat party, someone grabbed the spanking plank and wailed in so hard that the flattening of the ass that's being spanked, like the dude's butt is just like pancaking because the camera took the exact perfect frame, and whatever like it wasn't so much that the spank made him poop as much as it forced his butt out of the area where the poop was a second ago.
That's cringe, man.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I get it.
He was standing there, and it was inside of him, and then the skin was forced away from that area.
Like the poop didn't move. It's just everything else moved around away from it.
Correct.
It's like if you put a rope around my feet and like yanked me super hard and I vomited, but it's actually my food didn't move.
Yeah,
just my body moved away from the food.
That was an internet image at the dawn of the the horrors from a long time ago.
Yeah, you're right. That's not cringe. That's a different.
No, definitely not cringe.
What is it, Wooly? Is it based? Is that what you're gonna say?
It's neither based nor cringe.
What? No, it's somewhere on the scale.
Not everything is based or cringe.
That scale fits all everything.
No.
I don't want to go back to that period of my life. I don't want to go there.
I don't either, but sometimes, like, there are moments where you have to explain it or you have to break it down. Because I was talking to Punch Mom the other day, and like we were having this crazy ass discussion, right? About how just about fucking like 8kun and 8chan and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
And like and I was just like to go through the timeline of branching paths of how each thing came from a thing, and from a thing came another thing, and you fork it all the way back. And I remember I was just going back all the way to like how so much shit that came from like something awful, you know.
Yeah.
And like how that, and I was explaining how like even the concept of a let's play coming back from something awful, you know what I mean? Like there's so many internet forks that like you were either there for it, or like you used something that like is directly inspired by that, or like someone that made a site that was, whatever. And I'm realizing as I'm describing this that because she's like, you sound like Grandpa talking about the war. And I'm like,
no,
oh my God,
tapped
that's
into
exactly
our
what it
stupid
was.
shit. Yeah.
Right? And then I just had a flash forward of, I'm like, I'm actually going to be at some point that old guy telling the kids like, nah, you don't understand. I was here for the start of the internet.
Yeah, no, we're the last generation that remembers a pre-internet world.
I was old enough to have a non-internet upbringing, and then it came, and I saw how it all unfolded. And I'm going to be talking about that.
Projects with a library card.
I'm going to be talking about the old days. Like, it's going to be that, literally, the start of it all, Do
you remember when something awful, like, got that huge scam running where they printed all that fake money, but it had Sonic on it instead?
Oh, hope you got $10? BUX?
No.
Where you had to subscribe using $10?
No. It was just like, instead of presidents, it was like Sonic on it, and it screwed up the value of the dollar for like a year or so. It was called the Sonic inflation. If you Google it, you can just go check that out, and it'll tell you all about it.
Oh man, wow. Yeah, that was some shit, dude. Fucking. To this day,
was crazy.
Yeah, like, and yeah. Anyway, just I remember I was like, it branched out to the point where I'm like, hey, remember like E-Bomb's World? And she's like, oh yeah, I remember E-Bomb's World. I'm like, fuck E-Bomb's World.
Fuck Eric Bauman.
Yeah, Low Tax kicked his ass.
Like, I'm not gonna sit here and go, yeah, Low Tax forever. But man,
Low Tax
Eric
did
Bauman.
in fact come along, punch him in the face, and bang his mom. That's how the story goes.
That's right, Grandpa. Okay, let's head to bed. That soon.
No, you don't understand. Once upon a time, in the internet, there was a guy.
And we didn't like him.
Yeah. It's absolutely gonna happen, and I feel that way even every time when I'm explaining, like, pre-IGN you had IGN 64, before IGN 64 you just had N64.com, and then the Imagine Games Network bought it, but that was just specifically an N64 website that had some of the first screenshots of Zelda that had been scanned directly from that early ass GamePro, or like, yeah, Rooster Teeth is cool, but once upon a time that was drunkgamers.com,
That's
like
true.
These weird things of just like, who the fuck are you talking to, old man? Like, what? Pre-Red versus Blue, huh? Yeah.
I remember.
Anyway.
Like, man, you don't want to use Netscape. You want to use the Ask Jeeves search engine. That's always going to get you the good shit.
Alta Vista? Dogpile? The fuck you doing? Man. Dogpile compiles all the search engines together into one.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway. So that's that picture with the ass paddling. That's history. Anyway,
I just disassociated for a second and like genuinely could not remember what you meant by that and thought you had gone insane. Okay, yeah, no, the all right.
Okay. Speaking of disassociation, I think this might take the cake as the single dumbest crossover I think I've ever seen.
Let's hit it.
7 Deadly Sins, cross Stranger Things collaboration.
Oh, I saw. Yeah, it's not good. It's no good.
The anime cast of Stranger Things joins Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross. I don't like. Sometimes you get these wacky moments where Snake is talking to a Palico, and you go, "That's crazy," but okay, haha, you know. And then there's just the most why would you for, who's this for? Anyway, you can check it out, and there's a bunch of anime adaptation versions of the Stranger Things cast hanging out in this game.
It's
alongside anime people.
It's for the marketing man who thought of it.
And then it just reminded me that, like, oh yeah, Stranger Things was a thing.
It kept going.
Did anyone finish season 3? I don't know. That's the mystery.
No.
All they had to do was... It's like...
All they had to do is the thing that was the most obvious thing in the whole world?
But then you have a whole lot of actors that are like, no, but give us more, though.
You didn't even need to do that. You could have just used all the same actors and cast them as different characters and have it be super weird.
True. American Horror Story. American Horror Story. Yep. Same people recasted, different setting. Totally. That's totally fine. Yep. Oh well. Sequels for no reason. Anyway, that's a none thing. And then, yes, last 2 bits of things here. I know that Virtua Fighter has been announced in Japan as something that is coming to the
Virtua
PSN
Fighter
store. Esports is coming, but you did, just in case you wanted to, you could get Virtua Fighter PC right now. The Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown Unlocker is out, and this modifies your PC installed copies of Yakuza 7 or Like a Dragon. Excuse me, Yakuza 6 or Like a Dragon into just booting directly the 360 version of Final Showdown.
The weirdest thing, one of those games has the Japanese version and the other has the English version.
It literally has the words Xbox Live on the main menu because the whole game is there. All it does is when you boot up the arcade machine, it gates you into the versus mode. But you can just get the full thing, including the training mode, the tutorial system, like all of that shit is all in there. It's missing, I think, DLC, but online like play. Everything, and online play, but everything else is pretty feature complete. Although there's some bugs with like pause mode, but it's in the docket here. But there's a link to a mod that you can get going if you want to turn your copy of Yakuza into Final Showdown.
Please have the good netcode, Sega, for the esports. Please, I beg you, please, God.
You could probably get this thing going alongside Parsec, and you can get something decent out of that.
Yeah, maybe.
And last, they announced a new character for Apex Legends named Valkyrie, and I don't know if you saw her backstory.
Yeah, I did.
There's an 8-minute short that introduces her as the daughter of Viper from Titanfall 2.
Cool animation, except for holy shit, the child looks hideous. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, I thought it was hideous. I thought it was whatever, you know. So 2 things come to mind immediately. It's cool that they're tying in that stuff. I like that, and they know that that's the cool guy from the thing that we like, so yay. One, I'm going to assume that like one of her most expensive and final unlocks is her saying the line. You know? I'm guessing there's a fucking, did you put your hours in? You can finally afford her saying speed is life.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
They also put out, they're going to put out a 3v3 arena mode that's not Battle Royale in the Apex.
Cool. I mean, honestly, like, there should be just... Well, did they add team-based... did they add team training as a thing at some point, some time ago? Am I misremembering an update where they added the ability to go into the training room with your teammates?
I have no idea.
Okay. They didn't. Okay. Well, they should. And then the other thing I was going to say about it is that her whole backstory involves her like jumping in the Titan and like kind of like, you know,
trashing it.
Yeah, fucking up Viper's shit. And then of course
you can't play as a Titan.
And well, that's the thing is like, so she has this whole connection with like the suit and, you know, the pilots and all that. But when it comes to her entering Apex Legends, she's not going to get into a Titan. So instead she's wearing a body jetpack Viper-like thing, which is, I guess, the best you can do. But God damn it, like, you want her in a Titan, you know, like.
I saw that they were putting it in a 3v3 Counter-Strike basically mode, and I got really excited because I'm an idiot and thought that they might actually do something cool like put Titans in it.
No, they're making her.
It's actually just the regular game, but Counter-Strike now.
Yeah. So, she's wearing a North Star backpack. Exactly. It's that's all there. I mean, look, if they introduce someone that holds a sword and does all the sword core stuff, that'll look cool. But that's not the point, you know?
I don't know, man. Like, I was scrolling down Twitter and I saw the fucking phrase Apex Legends trailer North Star.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, oh, man.
And I can't help but think that, like, also this is a world, right, where one generation ago you had the craziest giant robot battles ever, and now we're tuning into these human gun battles. Yeah. And, like, it's like, but literally the people watching this saw radder shit happening outside their fucking front lawn, you know, like just like 10 years ago almost. Like
the pilots are basically Jedi and they're so cool and we're stuck playing as stormtroopers.
But like the fantasy of this Apex Legends like in-world challenge thing is like, no, but people saw cool Titan battles. They'd be way more into that. You know, it happened barely a couple years ago.
The longer this goes on, the more I'm confused as to why they even bothered to say it was in the Titanfall universe at all. Like, you could just literally have just not said that and changed nothing, and people would be like, "Oh, cool, the Titanfall gun is here."
Unless they come up with like, and after the war, Titans were banned forever.
That's literally what it is. It's the war is over, so there's no. Meanwhile, Steam is having like its best Titanfall 2 week ever.
Anyway, speaking of robots, if you want to see a cool one, I retweeted the hottest Megatron I've ever fucking seen. It's a cool toy.
I'm gonna look at that.
Look at the toy.
I'll look at the toy.
It's the Flame Toys Kurokira Transformer Megatron. It's Megatron, but he's also like got Gundam bits on him. It's fucking sick.
Oh, that's a cool Megatron.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Well, Ace Attorney, Great Ace Attorney was announced. That looks good.
Sherlock Sholmes is coming at you.
Yay. Also, people thought that like we invented that name when it's like, no, that's what knighthood used and that's what Arsène Lupin uses.
That is a long-standing real thing.
Yes. Anyone who doesn't want to deal with Arthur Conan Doyle stuff just uses Sherlock Sholmes.
Hey, I have a statement to make. The estate of Arthur Conan Doyle can go to hell.
That's Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
That's my statement.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, heads up. If you want to play the Great Ace Attorney right now, you can buy the Japanese version on Amazon, and it's in English.
Oh, wow, really?
You just switch it to English.
Wait, dubbed too?
No, it's not dubbed. What are you, crazy?
Because the new version is dubbed.
Oh, the whole thing is dubbed?
Yes. Go check the trailer out.
I thought that was only little bits and pieces.
Is it not? The trailer was in English. They had
I know
multiple lines of talking, including
that part they also
where
had the parts where they were talking and they were going doo 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 doo.
Like the Edgeworth dude goes, "You Nipponese truly are a fascinating breed," and I was like, "Whoa, Jesus,
Full
dude!"
game is dubbed. Wait, no. I'm literally watching the trailer and they have no dialogue and like the like as the text goes on the screen. Is it a full dub or is it like a
I watched a trailer for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles in which the characters were talking the whole time. I have no more information besides this.
It's the one that came out on April 21st?
I don't know. I clicked play on a video. I wasn't looking at the date.
Cutscenes will have dub. There it is.
Cool.
Yeah, people are insane. This is not a full dub. Cutscenes will have voice acting. Yeah, like
okay.
Yeah, it's like
okay. All right.
You're all fucking crazy. It's not a full dub, you fucking psychopaths.
So then
sound bites are dubbed.
Okay, so the trailer just prominently featured those moments. Got it. Okay.
Then it's a dub, Pat. It's not a full dub if it has no voice acting, you fucking moron. All right. Anyway. We got any emails?
Yeah, let's grab them real quick. Yeah, no, Ryu and Chun-Li have been available as Power Rangers in that mobile game when we reported on it last year, and now it's available in Battle for the Grid. But we did talk about this more than once. Yes. What do we got over here?
Hey, if you want to send an email, send it to castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com.
That's castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. Okay, what do we got over here? Salutations to Wooly and Pat. This one's coming in from Duff and says, correct me if I'm wrong, but game studios live and die by their reputations except when they're owned by EA or Activision. BioWare used to be a golden standard for RPGs in the early 2000s, as did Bethesda and Blizzard. Now these companies are generally universally reviled. With each new game announcement being met with great doubt regarding the quality of the end product due to severe lack of trust from consumers, what are some good examples of game studios and franchise that have gone downhill hard, and is there a period of time you can point to where the decline noticeably began?
Okay, well, first of all, you're too tapped in. The average consumer doesn't even know that those game companies have become shit. As for noticeable decline, I think the easiest one is look at every studio that's ever been bought by EA.
Up until death.
Look at Activision buying Blizzard. Activision buying Blizzard is the most extreme. It went from like better than Nintendo to subpar.
Let me take a look here. I feel as if you can draw a direct line between Rare and its acquisition by Microsoft.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Because at bare minimum, it went from games I cared about to a lot of things I don't. But like Rare had tons of shit going back to the fucking early 90s. And then they got bought by Microsoft, and then it kind of just became a bunch of Kinect shit at a point in time.
Okay. October 11th, 2007 is when BioWare got bought by.
So here we go. Yeah. Mid 90s, KI, Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong, etc. 007, Diddy Kong Racing, Banjo, Jet Force Gemini, all that stuff. Perfect Dark, Star Fox Adventures. You move forward further, and then we get into the Microsoft era. Viva Pinata, Nuts and Bolts, Kinect Sports, Kinect Seasons 2, Sports Rivals.
Dude. Oh, the Mass Effect. Sorry, the fucking BioWare one is like, it defies belief how fast.
Killer Instinct. What the fuck? Why are they? That's not.
Okay, BioWare releases like Baldur's Gate, MDK2, and then Baldur's Gate 2, and then Neverwinter Nights, and then KOTOR, Jade Empire, and then Mass Effect comes out like 1 month after they get bought by EA. So it was obviously done, right? Their next release is Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood a year later, which we all know is a real banger. And then Dragon Age Origins finishes development in 2009. And that was halfway done when they got bought. And then you go to Mass Effect 2, Dragon Age 2, Dragon Age Legends, The Old Republic, ME3, that Warhammer game that never went anywhere. Like, just instant. Just
would you say that reversing the trend takes... I would say it takes like 2 bangers. Right?
Has it ever happened?
Capcom started cleaning up nice when they had Monster Hunter World, DMC5.
So when
RE2,
you said the trend, I thought what you meant is like a bigger company buys them and they turn to shit.
No. I mean crawling back up. You know, getting off your feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Capcom's done it like 4 times.
Yeah, and then eventually into RE7 and then the rest of what's going on now. But like with each, like basically like Capcom with each of its major franchises, like just going heavy on them.
Yeah, the Inafune era was like just the absolute worst possible.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look, man, I still really liked the Last Strider game. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I liked it.
But there was a whole lot of nothing happening around then, and I would say that they crawled their way out. You know, I mean, wow. Street Fighter V right now, rollback aside, is in the best place it's ever been. You know, real talk. Aside. Rollback aside, it's in the best place it's ever been.
So I took a look at Activision buying Blizzard. And 2002 and 2004 were Warcraft 3 and World of Warcraft. And then the next game they released after being bought by Activision was StarCraft 2, then Diablo 3. So like,
there you
instant. Like,
Mm-hmm.
not like StarCraft 2 was fine, but it was like not. And then Diablo 3 was. The Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch. And then all the shitty WoW expansions.
Cool. And let's take one more here. York asked, "Dear Mr. Super and Mr. Beast, now you're playing
you
the
want
game."
to be?
Mr. Beast.
Okay. I'll live with that.
One particular type of game that I adore is when I believed you reach the ending, but it turns out you're only at the halfway point, but the game still keeps its momentum and engagement. Obvious examples: Nier, Automata, Dragon's Dogma, Chrono Trigger, and Cross, Okami, Monster Hunter. Is there a particular...
Okami does it twice!
So here's but there's a note to that. So is there a particular one that you think pulled it off the best or the worst? York, here's the thing. I'm gonna say that I feel like probably my favorite is the way Nier does it, but also 999.
Which one?
Original Niers, Gestalt.
Wait, you played 999?
Yeah. It's
We've
fucking
never
great.
talked about that. 999's the fucking best.
Yeah. 999 is probably my second favorite example of
Oh, it's so good.
Of doing that completion system. The thing is, and we're gonna find this happening now very clearly. There are times when the credits rolling should probably just say end of chapter 1. End of act A.
Yeah.
Or something. Because just to catch those who put the controller down and walk away and go, well, my job here is done. You just change that terminology ever so slightly to imply that, hey, New Game Plus is not New Game Plus. It's just chapter 2. And really, you save those people.
I don't know. Like I'm a big proponent of the way that Automata did it. Automata might be the bluntest I've ever seen.
It gives you the message, right?
You get ending A, and a message literally comes up from the staff that says, "Hey guys, there's way more here. Please keep playing through to get more endings. We would really appreciate it as the developers." And it's like, if you don't take that seriously, you're an idiot.
Yes, but you could also just write end of Act 1, and it would communicate the same thing effectively. Right? Instead of even reading the paragraph, you just go, end of Act 1. Credits roll. Cool. Begin Act 2.
Monster Hunter gets away with it because when you hit the credits, like you literally like load into the area, like the hub, and there are characters with exclamation points above their heads, and you talk to them and they go, now you've unlocked 4-star, and you're like, oh, okay. Right. The all-time greatest, I would say, is Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy VI definitely gears up like it's going to be the end of the game. And it sure isn't.
And I like when something is compelling in that way, but I've talked about, I guess, the Persona 4 and 5 issue of making you fucking just like making you think you're on the cusp of ending for hours and hours and hours, and how that doesn't feel good, right?
It doesn't.
If you feel like you're gonna conclude once and then, oh my god, shit blows the fuck open. That's one thing.
It's good maybe once or twice, but eventually you got a nut.
And P4 and P5, like, it got to a point of, like, I love this game, but come the fuck on, guys. You know?
Just, like, come on. Joker.
Or, like, just be super outright honest and be like, this calendar is not real. You know? Just one of the two. Yeah.
This isn't what I meant when I said this game was edgy, bro.
Yeah. Big edge. Cool. Thank you.
That's why some people, when they walk away with their balls all blue, they have a really negative view of the game.
Negative edge?
They end up, no, because they end it... What is that? You release... What? I don't understand.
It's when you kegel so hard and you keep it in, but the negative edge is the release.
What is that, like a retrograde? Because don't do that. You can get your dick sick doing that.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's the button release. It's the release check.
Don't negative edge your ejaculation, kids. It'll fuck your dick up.
Right? Now, do you feel it on button press or on button release? That's the question. See you next week, folks.
See you next week, everyone. Bye.